Yeah, fix the hair.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, Mark, if you would like to start start rolling.
All right. Well, been working with Denise and trying to get a really beautiful picture of this, and we're forming a wisdom council to help steer Awaken Dream Synergy in a way that is non-judgmental, that creates a really safe space for people to offer their gifts. And as the gifts come out, we listen carefully for everyone's gifts and see how we can integrate them and provide a synergistic melding of our networks to provide these beautiful new solutions that in the pre-discussion, as Stephen was talking about, the agent capturing, the idea of these tipping points in the institutional models that are coming. We're seeing a lot of them getting really close. We've already seen the economics start to tip. Governance is totally unsustainable, so we're seeing it tip. The government agencies are all reaching unsustainable proportions and imbalance. And so I think this group is really well suited for bringing some really brilliant minds together to look at the different projects that will start to really rise as an alternative to the failing systems. And I know this was Barbara Marx Hubbard's dream also, and Sherry can speak to this better than I can, having lived with Barbara and worked with Barbara for many years. This is part of the conscious evolution. Andrea, who I hope gets to speak at some point, Andrea Harding or Tan, she's been doing some wonderful writing about this, and she had some great experience in the Synergy Hub for learning how resonance can work and where some of the issues rise up in working together. And of course, some of the shadows will show up. And when shadows show up, she's got a section in one of the charts that got posted to the Telegram group about grievances and reconciliation, how to resolve conflicts. I suggest that that is like when we see those coming up, unless we're saying, okay, this is my shadow, or we don't want to, shadows are like gifts because there is a gift underneath it. But in this kind of group where we're trying to do synergy instead of debug production, this group is a great way of helping us evolve as a working group. We're talking about production strain. When we have deadlines and the old model of producing and under the gun to get it done by a certain time, those stressors and everything that's kind of part of the old system, that's the old pattern. Whereas if you are operating in a flow state and are working as a collective intelligence, things evolve much, much more rapidly. And there's no effort in a flow state. Effort comes when there is that stress. You're bunking against something, including a time deadline. So I would like to suggest that this not be necessarily a production meeting, that this is a meeting where we are working on these innovations, how to harmonize these innovations so that we can really pool together and create one of the key words in here, which is synergy. That was just my take on this group as an intro. And I'd love to see this in dialogue with the council and how we could present it even more formally to the whole group. Because I'd love to be bringing in a whole bunch of beautiful thought leaders, not just to do presentations, but to bring their network to something like this group, which can really create the broader solutions that cover all 12 sectors of society. I looked at this group as an integration group and a futurist group. And so I've always viewed this group, and it's one of my favorite places to land. So anyone else want to pitch in or introduce themselves?
I would love to, I guess we'll do the, maybe Sherry, as a part of your intro, you would like to do a little bit of a general guided visualization, just to bring maybe what Mark had said into a beautiful format that sees that synergy or something. And then talk about you.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
One of the things I'll just say as a preamble is I've done a lot of group work for a lot of years, and it's always interesting walking into a new group because there's like, my protocol is we drop in to begin with, and then we do whatever our process is for meeting the new people, and then we maybe do a check-in, and then we whatever. So there's so many different ways of flowing. So I'm happy to be resilient and flow with this particular constellation's synergy here. So it's a real blessing, and I love that you asked for grounding. I believe when we use the word coherence and resonance, it's actually about the field, and the field is what we create in every moment, and it's always present. So it's an emergent phenomenon, and we can bring ourselves into greater coherence, I believe, through like even just 2 minutes of silence can transform a field. And the heart math folks know all about that, as do many other wisdom traditions. So I just invite us to become really present, and whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, just become really present here now with your eyes open, and just notice what happens. That you might have been distracted, your attention is somewhere else. That's fine, that's life. We're a very highly distractive culture with lots of things pulling at us and crazy stuff with COVID and all that. So notice your breath just getting a little bit stiller and deeper, and feel yourself becoming like a conduit between heaven and earth. And now slowly close your eyes and take a moment to really savor who you are in this moment as a unique, gorgeous being. Sometimes that takes a little bit. You're like, what? I have to savor myself? Yes, yes, this is it. This is the core of the fractal. Because you are perfect and incredible and gifted and unique. You are unique. So just lavish some love and attention onto yourself, who you are. Turn all the exquisite creative creation codes, synergy codes, co-creation codes that go out, turn them all in. And bathe yourself in this nectar of your own self-presence. And notice a quality of coherence that is present inside you as your own body finds its greater harmony. As we tap into your and our greater potential. Feel yourself rooting into the earth of which we are intimately connected. And as the Taoists would remind us, we become a conduit between heaven and the cosmos and the central sun. And our star brothers and sisters, families, and the earth. So this dance of creation is right here in us. Just feel that love, that appreciation growing from within, from your heart, flooding all your cells. The Eastern traditions tell us we have like 70,000 nadis. These are energy lines in our bodies. We have inner sacred geometry. So we're turning those on as we step from this I into a we. And now, just with your incredible powers of attention and intention, connect to this group and to the beautifully named articulation from Mark, as some of the seeds of this group's purpose and potential. Just feel this particular constellation in time, powerful node in Indra's net, in the noosphere, in the inner net, in the internet. It's all connected. And now feel how that's different. And allow yourself to feel the resonance coming from each person and creating a whole. There's a field that we've just created. And we can feel each other in this we space more powerfully than we often imagine. We're energy beings. And allow the little subtle inconsistencies or little edges of unknown mystery, energies that love to be alchemized. We are a great alchemizing field. We can alchemize anything very quickly into a higher order. When we learn how to do this at the social system level and design of everything we do, everything will make a quantum leap. And now feel the center of this circle. The center is not any one of us. It is the center of this whole, in this holonic field. Always a part, always part of a greater whole, always part of a greater whole. That's the fractal. That's how we scale. So just allow yourself to attune as we take a few deep cleansing breaths into that we space of awakened synergy and what this call wants to be, and be able to take this field with us as we go through our day. And allow yourself to slowly open your eyes as you feel ready. And take in the other beautiful smiling beings. Oh my goodness. A lot of goodness here. And even the faces on their faces and their names. And the trees behind people. Okay, great. Wow, that was really good for me. I hope it was as good for you as it was for me. I needed that to bring myself fully present into the field. So It's really an honor to be here. I've been hearing about this group since it was for a while, and I've been in the field for a while. I'll be quick, since that was a little longer than we probably expected. Sometimes that we are in the timelessness of things. So everything is in perfection, as Mark and I were talking about the gene key 5, which is impatience, to the gift of patience, to the Siddhic, the divine gift of timelessness. So we're really playing with these codes, the Siddhic codes. I believe that we are a code of a node in the synarchy. So for those of you who are familiar with the synarchy and the gene keys, I'm happy to do a riff later about synarchy. My background and who I am, what I bring is I am a whole systems designer. I've been looking at trim tabs for trim tabs as in, what are those small little things that can actually, like the butterfly effect, make a huge impact in culture and transformation. So I've been tracking those for, I guess, 30 years, maybe 30 years. So looking at them, they've included media and how we communicate and tell the story, so communication, and then social process, so process design. That includes online and in real life. So the systems by which we create meaning and we discover about each other, the social fields. And then it was coherence, the coherent energetic architecture of systems, fields, and all that. And I consider that a kind of a design stack. The energetic architecture is foundational, the social architecture, and then the digital material. So I've been a journalist through all this and co-founded indie media. I've been working in independent media for 28 years. I did a lot of media policy work in the 90s. And then I couldn't really handle being in the old paradigm too much. So I was always creating new models that make the old ones obsolete. So that's a little bit my passion. And technology came into my life 20 years ago with Indie Media, which I co-founded in 1999, which launched citizen journalism worldwide and was open source, open publishing. For the last 20 years, I did that. That was my baby for 4 years. Took it from 1 media center to 250 around the world. And that got me connected to techies, geeks, hackers, and all the stuff that goes on with programming and designing new platforms for our playing. And I've played in a lot of different prototypes, and I'm a believer in creating heaven on earth. And I'm not interested in incremental, I'm a quantum think kind of girl. So that's how I design and play. And I'm Barbara Marks Hubbard and I'll just close with that. She and I met in 2005 and she adopted me into the evolutionary family. And I started working closely with her on the Synergy Engine, the Wheel of Co-Creation, the Peace Room, which became the Office for the Future, which was about mapping, tracking, scanning, and connecting what's working in the world and making it visible. We didn't have the technology. She ran on that platform in '84 for vice president. That it should be a function in our governing systems. So we need those kinds of function to make visible what's actually working and to let people see, oh my God, what's possible and what's already emerging. And I was working with her on the planetary mission and all sorts of other things with Juan Carlos and other colleagues and friends and co-creators. And then I was with her in Colorado because we thought we were being funded by some folks to do the Synergy Engine, but it ended up crashing. But I lived with her for the last 2 years of her life, and we are carrying on her work, and she is definitely present with us and loves everything we're doing. So she was a great inspiration, and I do miss her, but she's so felt and so present and was a great, great inspiration and gave us a lot of codes. And if anyone wants to have a PDF of the 52 codes that she wrote, which was about communion with higher self, I like them with the 64 gene keys and the 52 codes. They're like powerful higher self codes, I'm happy to send a PDF to anybody. You can just drop your email here, or I'll do it in, I can send it in Telegram as a PDF. And that's it. Thanks for letting me go a little longer. It felt like 1 minute would be not sufficient to say fully hi.
Amazing, Sherry. So beautiful to hear. Yeah, so Debbie, would you like to share a little bit about you and your work?
Yes, that was amazing. Thank you. So I enjoyed the meditation and so nice to hear from you. So I am a technologist, so had a 40-year career across the full stack, beginning in telecom and ending in artificial intelligence. My mission is to, collaborate with luminaries like everyone on this call in order to make a quantum leap in society by using technology for good. So I came to believe that the technology was so powerful that we needed to shape it with a community of people that were centered and aligned themselves. As I began to research consciousness and AI, I realized I, perhaps, didn't know enough about my own consciousness and hadn't practiced. And I landed at Esalen Institute 2 years ago for some conferences with Digital Rain on consciousness and AI, VR, blockchain, and that began my spiritual journey. And today I am excited to be working. I just wrapped up a call with a bunch of kids who are developing a dream tank headquarters within the virtual world of Burning Man. And so it'll be the only sort of kids camp, and they're actually developing the virtual world, and where we'll take people on missions to solve the SDGs, and the end state is to launch a game to accept a mission to solve for the SDGs. So that's what I'm doing today, and just really honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both Debbie and Sherry, for being here. For me, having female technologists who are also into consciousness and whole systems design, all the experience that both you have, I am so grateful that you are here. I love you, ladies. I'm so happy to become your friends and get to know you more. And I really appreciate you coming to the call, because it's needed, more feminine energy that is so aware and awakened as you two. So thank you.
Could I just say something to Debbie really quick as appreciation, just because it's sort of this intro space? That was awesome to hear. I guess you know James Hanusa, and just appreciate with the kids and the game, and I look forward to further conversations. Thank you.
Great. Yes, I'd love to follow up with you, and I will. Thank you, Sherry.
Super. Steve, would you like to go next?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna say. Yeah, no, I I've transcended a lot of different technologies. Been involved in political world as well as technology world. I mean, I played with a wide variety of technologies, as well as been deeply involved. I was listening to some of these things. Like, I go back to the mid '70s when I first experienced the internet, and then in the '90s I got into, well, early '90s, late '80s I got into like what they call blockchain now, and AI. Because neural networks were just building neural networks with computers was fun, and was doing VR and 3D printing, and so all that existed. And then I have been really interested lately more in the how we psychologically imprint into our technologies, and how those technologies or architectures are affecting us now. These are echoes back from the machine that and so it's really looking at some of the ideals we had in the early days of these technologies and where we wanted it to go and where we thought it would go, to how things are manifesting now, and looking at that as a reference. And going forward, how do we architect, an imprint into our technologies, what we want. I mean, if I look at the great architectures, I'd say Beehive. That's a technology, and it took millions of years for that to evolve. And so we have these. We think we're more sophisticated than we are, and we also think our technologies are greater than there's a little bit of an ego there. And I think we just really need to appreciate the building process and be more mindful in the building process as we create these technologies, because we're emerging, and what we're going to merge with these technologies is going to be our future society and selves. So very interested in that, very much seeing how can we evolve this concept of civilization, and how do we make civilization possible? That's me in a short.
Yay, Steve. Steve was a godsend to me in Northern California for the last 7 years, because we would talk about the potential of futures in technology, and he was like one of my first dear friends and longest up, because we were both so excited about it. So I'm so happy to have Steve here every time and have all of us get to know each other more. So we can have Florentina or Lumi go next if they would like to tell a little bit about what they've been working on. And we want to make sure that we get David Ellams in. So David, definitely let us know your timing, and we can bump us in the back if you need to start your offering. So Lumi or Florentina, who would like to go next?
Okay, hi everyone. Well, if Lumi wants to speak first, it's okay for me. Whatever you want. I don't know.
You go, my dear, you go.
Okay, I go. Then, first of all, thank you, Sherry. It was awesome to, be grounded and feel the flow. And this is, I think, what we are here for. So, what can I say about me for people that don't know me yet? I'm a researcher in biofield, human energetic field. So this is my main activity now. I'm working on a lot of projects to try to understand how our biofields interact, and most of all, it's referred to meditation state and flow state and coherence state. This is my interest most of all. I studied for a lot of years with Russell Targ from Stanford Institute, and I studied remote viewing after I made a lot of other studies in parapsychology, and also a lot of research work with Italian researchers and international researchers. I worked in groups also. So now I am really happy to be here with all of you and share and learn and exchange more. This is it for the moment. Thank you.
So happy to have you here, Florentina. I'm just amazed at the people that are here with us, and so beautiful that we're all connecting from around the world. Lumi, would you like to share?
I want to just hop in and just quickly say, yay, Florentina. I'm just cheering on these people, and yay, Stephen. That was really, it's wonderful to be in such,
Very true. Such good company. Yes. Thank you. Louis?
So happy. Well, Valentina, I love you. She's been so supportive over the last days. I'm so happy that finally you get to meet Sherry, that I briefly told her about. Well, after the wonderful 3-hour call that I had with Mark prior to this call, to be honest, the only thing that is flowing through my heart right now is to define myself as that which is seen through the eyes of every one of us. I am that I am. That's where my consciousness is right now, and such a blissful state that I want to leave it there for today. I am.
Well, Louis, we super appreciate you. I hope you know that. I mean, I think you know that. So thank you. You're definitely one of the weavers and someone that helps hold the vision so beautifully that we're all getting downloads for and have been possibly for our entire lives and probably previous lives if we believe in that. So cool. Maybe I'll speak a little bit about me since before David Ellams goes, and then so David, prepare after me. Will you be ready, David? All right, so my name is Denise, and my real name, I'm at my dad's house right now, so I'm just gonna say my real name right now. My real name is Denise Lochenberg. So I'm first generation American from 2 Dutch parents. And I'm calling myself Denise Aurora to keep it simple and kind of fun. And burner name, I've been a burner for since the 90s. So yes, I started Awaken Dream Synergy because I have been a traveler and I've always been into technology because my dad's a technologist, my brother's a technologist. And so like innovation and logic and how to look at the world and perspective, and my mom's a philosopher and an artist, has always been a big part of my realm. So when I went into philosophy and psychology for school, undergrad, I ended up, of course, working at an innovative technology firm for villages online. So I was working and developing what it would be like to have tribes online. So I made this thing called Techno Town. I was just a receptionist, and then I was like, oh, I want to create Techno Town, and then I ended up being the #1 person who made their actual software. I went from receptionist, I'm this little girl just going to school, going to philosophy, to like the person who made the software. So they called me the Imagineer, and I actually went traveling because I always had this idea that I was going to be more like a journalist and photographer and kind of really immersed in the world and sharing knowledge about how to work with social systems and psychology, philosophy, sociology, anthropology. I was always into the ologies. So I've just been continuously researching in my own experience, but also reading and taking on the vision since undergrad of how do you make really interesting and cool technology to help humanity come alive in their heart and their love. I've been like that since I was a child. Like, how do we help humanity come alive? I'm that person who smiled at people who never got a smile, and they would always be like, thank you for always smiling, you made me happy. And then I had my own times where I wasn't happy, and I was like, where do I search? How do I take care of myself? And because I didn't necessarily have people around me to take care of me. So I always went, oh, we can make these technologies that are for people to come alive, come happy, come awaken in their hearts and in their dreams. And so because I've been brought up in technology, and I also was creating technology, I've constantly thought about one technology after another. And so I have all kinds of notes. I'm like Da Vinci with that, like, or I have it all in my head. But I've honed in on some particular ones because I've been doing this for a long time, and how to do it. I've also discovered how to do it, like how to work with teams and things like that, and how not to work with teams, because I've seen teams come together and fall apart, and I've seen teams come together and create magic. So I've seen these formulas, and so I've cleared and cleaned a lot of my own vessel so that I can become more aware of what's happening and being able to actually speak about it. So that's where I'm at this point after many years of working in technology for consciousness since I was born, basically, but then also actually since I was 20, 30 years. That gives you my idea. So, oops, I told my age. Not supposed to do that. So, but anyway, I'm just, I've been in and out of technology because I've always been working in the consciousness realm. So I go run off to the jungles and get offline, and then I come back and I work on technology. I go off to the beaches and I get offline. I live in a yurt and off, and then I off the grid, and then I go back to technology. So right now I was just living off the grid in deep meditation, living on the beach, and and then COVID happened. I came to California from Mexico to actually touch in with some Latins, to talk with Dan from Versus and some people from Leagues of Legends and some deep therapists, magic therapy kind of people. I have a group of friends in LA like that. And so then COVID happened, and I ran up north to hang out at Steve's house and be like, what are we doing? And then I started this group because I was in a group, I was in several groups on Zoom. And what I was noticing was that everyone was just talking ideas, and what if we do this, and what if we do that? And it was just a lot of like round and round and round discussion that really didn't, to me, seem like was going anywhere. So I was like, well, let's land this. I'm into this action mode. I've definitely been in that dreamy mode. What if we could? And then seeing that space where nothing gets done. So I'm super in this action mode. I'm too old to be in dreamland, but I've been there and I love it. So I created this group because I wanted people to share what they're already doing, what they're already working on, and to share their dream of what they want to create, no matter what level they're in with their, like if they're just, I even helped people write up their presentations and their original documentation because I wanted them to have their dream to come out. So then that's what I've been doing, like facilitating and advising people like, okay, well, you can do this and you can do this, like cheering people on and giving them actual concrete advice. And so we have several advisors that can give people different levels of advice, from like the high, like how we're bringing the 3D to the 5D, to the how do you actually concretely write your presentation and your CV, or go out there and share your information with people, and how do we actually synergize? And so that's what we're doing in this group, is we're discovering that, and it's allowing it to be open and kind of experimental on some level, taking people's suggestions and then being like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to do that, but okay, let's try it. And then being like, that shouldn't have happened a few times. But we're discovering like that's better kind of to have the experience, because then you know what works and doesn't work. Like I kind of opened it up to people, and then we got some crashing kind of feeling and ideas coming through. And so we were just like, that person hasn't been onboarded, and so let's take a step back and let's rediscover how we're actually developing this and creating this. And what's exciting for me is, in the beginning, I was like asking people, you guys, let's do an onboarding process. And I was like pushing it and silence, but now everyone's like, we got to do this. It's like, I mean, there wasn't that much silence. So I always had everyone helping, but we've been feeling it out. So I'm really happy to have very ingenious people on here to help awaken dream synergy, but also to synergize in all of our projects and come alive in it. Oh, here comes David Ellams again. So that's wonderful. And like Mark was saying, we are interwoven and interconnected with tribal and interesting people around the globe and around the world. So this is where we're at with COVID, is how, or just in this time, we've all been talking about, we've all been feeling about this time, that we can really come together as earth beings and create synergy and love. So just to let you guys know, and I'm doing this recording, the meditation I do every day, as I look at the earth as if it's below my feet. And I imagine that there are the people here that are creating this synergy, that are loving, that are caring, and that we're all releasing our shadows and coming into the gift and the light. And I'm imagining and seeing the weaving of our light together in those nodes like Sherry was talking about. And then I'm also receiving into my body, into my chakra systems, all the grace that is here for me, so that I can help synergize and help a great earth happen, and then let go of any of my fear that won't happen, because it is happening. So when we all see this and believe this in each other, then that's what we have. We have each other to believe in it and to continue that weaving and that synergy. So I believe in us, and I believe in what we're creating together. So thank you all for being here. And now, David, would you like to share a little bit about you and our world? If you would like, you could first speak about you, David, like your experience in life, where you're at, where you're going, but try to keep it, not too long, so we can actually hear about our world. We would love to hear about what you've been creating in our world as well. And if you have any kind of presentation, like a camera or screenshots or, share screen, please do so. Welcome, David.
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. Yeah, just so you know, this is all like last minute. And it's funny you say that, because I was just thinking like, what am I going to say? Just so you know, because I'm on the autistic spectrum, or neurodiverse NDs would like to be called, and we're all diverse really. So we're all on the spectrum, I think, in some form or another. So like, just bear with me, and yeah. So, and I was just thinking, like, have I got like a presentation like Versus had and Threefold? I thought, oh, it'd be great bit of presentation together. And I remember I made one years ago. I just found it while you was talking, like my archives, like an old Next Gen Software hour like PowerPoint slides that I made. It's quite a few years old now. It's a bit outdated, but I could like share that, and like just it's a link to it on my website. So if people want to see it on the website, they can look at it properly. So just like Threefold, I'll be like just skimming through it, like so you can read it properly, like offline basically, or online, Another time I'm not talking. And by the way, where I was going with it, because I'm on the spectrum, communication, especially verbal, isn't my strong point, so you have to bear with me, and I had no practice whatsoever, and this is a presentation that I haven't even read like for 5 years, so just bear all this in mind. This is very like just in the flow, and I'm just going to speak from my heart really. Like, I found that the best way, because I've done some public talking with my other company, Yoga for Autism, because I found yoga meditation is what helped turn my life around, because I basically struggled with autism my whole life. And I was on like medication, antidepressants, sleeping tablets, anti-anxiety tablets. So this drugged me up. I was in the system basically before I was awakened. Glastonbury in Avalon, 12, the heart chakra of Gaia. So it's a nice place to have my awakening. And then I created Yoga for Autism in 2013 when I got off all the drugs and medication, and I started doing yoga, and then that just completely transformed my life. And I just felt a billion times better than I ever felt when I was on medication, because that just turned into like a zombie, into a robot. I was just like, I didn't feel depressed anymore, but I didn't feel alive. I just felt like a hollow shell, just like a numb. This numbs you, and it's not the answer really. It cuts you off on your like your soul and your heart and your essence really. I think that's the whole point of it. Yeah, so my background is so similar to Raymond's. When Raymond did the Protocol Love thing, when he was talking about his like story, and it was so similar. Like, I got programming on a 8 on a ZX Spectrum, and I had an Amiga, and then had a PC, built my first PC at 12. And I always feel like, because of the autism, I was always great with Lego. I love Lego and computers, because I remember trying to sleep when I was like 5 years old, and like I had my dad's dot matrix printer. Remember that, like printing along, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, what's that? And then my dad was like programming on his Spectrum with like some guy in France, like some pair programming, like, copying out the code out of a Spectrum magazine. I'm fascinated by that, because then he got me a Spectrum at 8, and like I played games with my brother, but I was more interested in how things work rather than I'm just gonna put this other screen on so I can see you guys. Hang on a minute. Yes, but yeah. So I was like more interested in how things work. So I was just wanted to make the screen flash different colors and draw different lines in it, and that's why I got into programming. And Lego was also got me really creative as well. So I used to build the things in sets, but then I was more interested in building my own things, and I build like my mum would tell you, used to do beheading because they bought me loads of Lego and the floor was just covered in Lego all the time. So always walking on Lego, and I used to build entire cities. Like I built like entire like spaceships and cities, and had a whole like I was in my own imagination and my own story land. Like I couldn't fit in the school. I was bored. I had a really hard time in schools. I was bored a lot, and so I was a social recluse and I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I had a really severe stutter, and obviously all the bullying made me even more introverted. So I just shut down. But my escape was Lego. And then it was computers later on. So that's probably where I got into programming, because I was like, I found something I'm good at. And it was just like, and then later on I found it's part of my path, because that was why I was here, like to build the OASIS basically. So if you read the Ready Player One book, you watch the films, great. But if you read the book, like it describes my life, James Halliday's life, like how he grew up in the 1980s, and he had autism like me, and he struggled to fit in, and he was in Dungeons and Dragons playing RMD, with his friends, like I was doing as well, and then Shadowrun and Magic the Gathering cards. I was also into fantasy and sci-fi and computers, but I just couldn't handle social relationships and women petrified me. Like I had people come. I remember my sons would come up to me, ask me to dance at a school dance, and I'd just run away and go home. It's just like I had a massive social anxiety, and I just freak out. I was like, oh, the girl's talking to me, and they're like goblins to me. Then and it's just like I've come a long way. I'm still working on trying to be on this planet. It's been very difficult to ground, and that's where the yoga. The real turning point is yoga, and going to university. Yes, when I started coming out my shell, and I learned to talk, and then I started my career, and I found, I'm good at something, and I got like a first class honours degree, and I was got top of my class, and I thought, I found something good at, because up to that point my self-esteem was rock bottom, and I was just like couldn't just didn't believe in myself. I was so depressed all the time, but then I found something I was good at, so that was an anchor point for me to build on, and then I just focused on my computing degree career. Then I went from Nokia and Microsoft and all the big names, and then I used to get so frustrated because I thought everyone else was really slow. And I was like, why aren't you getting this? And I realized it's not them slow. It was just me. My brain was running a lot faster. And I was like, it's not you. Because it's so frustrated. People thought everything was stupid. I was like, why aren't you getting this? And like it's obvious. And I was sitting in meetings and like planning stuff. And there's still like really social anxiety then. And I wouldn't say anything. And then like I thought it's obvious, I see the answer straight away is the problem. And it's been weeks and weeks and months like having those meetings, and then they come up with like something that isn't as good as what I had in my head like months ago. And I was like, I should have just said, like, I didn't want people to laugh at me, because people always laugh at me, and I have so much fear of talking socially, so I just like don't talk. I just sit in the meetings and never talk anything. And then I went for Nokia, and they said I was the best contract they've seen. And I remember I just like was learning like the smartphone, the Windows phone, and I never like seen a Windows phone before. I never had a smartphone, and I remember just spent weekend looking at the API, and I just downloaded the tutorials, did all the, and because of the autism, I remember everything. It just stores in your head. And then I had a phone interview. I was the only one taking on the phone interview. Everyone else had a second face-to-face, and I went there, and I knew more about their phone than Nokia did. I was there, and the chief architects in Nokia were asking me how to program Windows Phone after like a week of being there. And I was like, okay, so I'm a bit different then. And that's what I started realizing. And then do you know what happened? They fired me because I made everything else look bad. And they kept telling me to slow down. They're going, you're doing too much work. The boss actually pulled me aside and goes, can you slow down? You're doing too much work and you're making everyone else look bad. And I was like, but I'm meant to be doing, because you guys, there must be bugs in your code. You got to take time. You got to take time and quality assure it more. And all my stuff flew through the best, like no bugs found. The quality assurance couldn't find anything wrong with it. And then he just got egg on his face, and he wasn't a very nice man, and then he just like fired me. And I was like, all right. And that's when I started creating my own company. I was like, right, I'm not working for anyone else anymore, because I can't fit in. I'm a team player. I love people, but I just like, unfortunately, people like come, for some of you probably the same as me, from a corporate background, and it's dog eat dog world and politics and backstabbing, and has so much people like sabotaging behind the scenes. So let's say one thing to my face, I got my back, like a guy in Nokia says he's got my back, and then he betrayed me. And that's why I started learning that you can't trust anyone in the corporate world, and it's just horrible. And I just love doing my job, and I always had a passion. I'm always very open. I didn't keep knowledge to myself, and I was always very loving and too trusting. And people took advantage of my kind nature, and then like play games. And then I got fired a couple contracts, not because of my productivity, just because they knew how to play the game, and I didn't know how to play the game. And I just like, and I just then had an awakening, and I realized that, that's why I'm not with my people. Like now I'm with my tribe, I'm with my people. But then I was just like in a really hostile, fear-based corporate world. I was working with like KPMG and HSBC, like in London. And I was writing in like the Canary Wharf, you know, like the Isle of Dogs, you know, that's like the Heart of Darkness, like white with Barclays and very dark energy. And that's probably why I was sent there to like trying to transmute it. And it was like very, I enjoyed like the getting a name on my CV, I guess. But other than that, it was horrible. It was just really like dog eat dog world. And anyways, that's a bit about my background. And then I had my awakening 12. And then I had all these downloads in 2013 for Our World, Yoga for Autism. And then that's when my life started transforming, and I then started doing like a public talking for Yoga for Autism, and basically I just say briefly, like I remember the other night, like part of my download was I created a training course to help people with autism, to like give them free training, and then to make apps and games, then help build Our World, because that's how I'm going to get all the people. You know, I'm struggling to find developers, and I got a download again the other day, and I remembered at 4 a.m. I was like, oh my god, that was my original thing I got in 2013. That's how I find a developer. It's just a training course, because it's like open to everyone, and it's a domain called yoursecondchance.icu. So I see you, like I feel you, I see you, I haven't forgotten you. Like it's the people the world's forgotten and like turn it back on, like the disabled, the homeless, prison inmates, kids on the streets, drug addicts. That's what I made the course for. It's because some of them are like genius programmers. I just need someone to give them a chance. And just to teach him. So that's what I'm going to start doing again. So you see me start to push that again soon. That's how I think I'm going to find the developers. I'm feeling it, because everything else isn't working. I'm struggling to get the funding. I'm trying to offer people cryptocurrency, equity, and no one's like wanting to like come on board. So I'm just like, I think it's because the training course is the way it's got to be. Like I've got to like open it up again. Originally it was for autism, but it's I think it's going to be like, yeah, and especially now with the COVID-19, the lockdown, and everything else is at home, like, and then recession. So I think it's a perfect time. So like this, you said, this COVID-19 is actually, it's challenging, but it's also a golden opportunity for us, like to build the solutions and to like shine the light for people to see and give them hope again. This is why like the whole Superman thing, this symbol means hope. It's to shine that hope thing. So I'm getting back into my essence, who I really am, back into my 2013 me, when I was just like really happy, very super positive, and always just full of light and hope. And I was 98% of the time always happy. I didn't have like dips and that. But the last the last year it's just been relentless. It's been ridiculous, because it's always darkest for the dawn. So I just think it's just been scraping the bottom of the barrel and really healing some childhood traumas and things. And yeah, I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not very good at this presenting things. So hoping that I do my best. And I just see Lumi's like I like it. Like the Justice League's here today. She's got Superman and Batman on the call, so that's great. And I think we're all superheroes, really. We've got to find our inner hero, and that's one day I'm going to write a book called The Superhero's Journey, because it's a hero's journey, and I want to write the superhero's journey, and that's going to be my autobiography, basically, about my life story, about basically what I've been talking about, but a bit more detail, everything I've been through, because it's quite a lot more darkness to what I've been through. But like we all got our stories like that. I think most Starseeds, like we all been through some serious shit basically to get to where we are. So I think that's enough about me. I think I don't know. I hope it's right. I don't really know how this format works, so I'm trying not to over talk too much. But basically, I have got a presentation, so I could do a screen share of that if that's helpful. And then just briefly. And by the way, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm gonna have to work out. It's quite embarrassing, a techie. I know the program, but I've never done a screen share on Zoom before, and I haven't even done a PowerPoint presentation like before. So I'm just gonna see what happens.
Thank you, Dave. That's perfect. Just so you know, a lot of us are like that. So we go between the people that super are ready and those of us who are still getting ready. We're all of us. So welcome. Thank you for your story. Love to hear it, and thank you.
Is that working? So can you see that? Yeah, you can see.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna like I said, you can look at this properly or offline. but I'm just going to briefly just touch on it because it's better talk from the heart. That's what I learned when I was in the yoga Fordism presentations. Like when I used to read from the script, it was just like a robot, like you're talking from your head. Then it's better just talk from your heart and let it flow, I find, rather than trying to read everything that's on the screen. But basically, yeah, you know what the problem is. This is for investors, by the way. Just bear in mind, this wasn't. I got to do a new one, which is more geared towards our tribe. Like, got to update it. Remember, this is out of date. But yeah, you already know there's a big problem in the world. So I wrote this 5 years ago, and now it's even more true. Like the ticking time bomb we're in. It's just so yeah. So hopefully, we know we need to find a solution to the problem. So and basically, I think the solution is like, if technology is like, people say it's bad, but I think it's the way we use technology. Technology is not good or evil. It's just the way we're using it and the intention behind it. Like, unfortunately, Google's and Facebook's and big tech intention is about profits, social engineering, censorship, and much darker agendas as well. People are aware of some of the things they're up to. So it's just the way we use it. And I think we've got a moral and social responsibility to use technology for good. And rather than evil, basically, and that's why I left the evil circles in London and the corporate world, and then I started like working on this stuff. I think some of you are pretty aware of our world, but basically, trying to summarize something, it's like, this is why, like, if you know Brett and Andrew, like, I think most of you do, and we all download different parts of the same thing, really, like the Infinite World game, Brett Fuller. Like, that is all part of the same thing. That another name for it is our world. It's all part of the same thing. A game. It's like gamifying the world, because it's not, our world isn't just a game. It's a platform. It's a gamifying the world, like a real-time simulation of the world, to teach people how to create a better world and live in harmony with each other, like with the planet, nature, animals, and to put our differences aside and work together as one. And then we can create a better world. It's basically an ascension training platform, you know. So that's basically the summary of it, the strapline. I'm getting better at summarizing. And it's much more, like I say, if you've seen Ready Player One in the OASIS, that's what it is. It's a fully unified, integrated experience. It's not have all these different apps and different operating systems. It's just one login, one essential portal. And you've got like the smartphone version, which is like a geolocation game, bit like Pokemon Go, but much more evolved. And I had downloads of this before Pokemon Go come out. Like, I saw this before. I mean, one day I was like in the bathroom or something, and my girlfriend at the time came in and goes, they're making your game kind of got talking about my game. And then Pokemon Go was released, and she said, oh, is this what you've been talking about? I looked at it and I was like, interesting, caveman, but nice try. You say archaic, but you're on the right path. It's because, like, you know, most of us started with visions, we see the future. And so the smartphone version is like a Google Maps, Google Earth replacement, like a decentralized, distributed version of it, because it's built on holochain, which most of you probably know, which is a decentralized distributed architecture. So it's like a crowdsourced version of that. And then you can do quests, and it's about getting people out into parks and into nature. And basically, I target originally because I wanted to get kids out and teenagers, you know, out of the bedrooms. You know, they're all glued to their phones, and you can't get them off their phones. So you have to reach them through technology. We're in a digital age, so the answer isn't just to like run away and like live in a field like most hippies want to do. And I'm half hippie, half geek, so I love that. I love festivals. I love like sitting around a campfire, singing Kumbaya and strumming a guitar. But like, it's not going to really solve the world, is it? Like, escaping, that's what the Ready Player One was. It's this dystopia because we're all escaping either to a field or into a VR. No, we've got to use technology to create a better world, and that's what we all like on the same page with, I think. So that's what the smartphone version is geared to, get people out of the bedrooms into nature, like doing quests. So you go into, so basically on a map it will say like, here, you know, it's a quest in your local park. You go to the park, and then like you look for your phone, and then augmented reality will happen, and you look at a tree, and the tree will come alive and start talking to you, and it will say like, oh, how are you? I lost my acorn children. Can you help find them? And then you go on like a little mini treasure hunt around that park or another park, and you do like a quest with your friends and family. And then you can do like, so it's encouraging like teamwork and creativity, leadership skills, and it's basically getting people to do fun things in parks. It's all about getting people into nature in gamified ways. Yeah, you're still using technology a little bit, but at least you're using it in a park rather than in your bedroom, not lying in the bed, not getting any sunshine, and you're not grounding. And And then you can look for your phone and you get like a holographic overlay of sacred geometry, like a mandala. And then you can build that with twigs and stones. So it basically turns everyone to light workers. You start building, you get everyone building sacred geometry and mandalas all around the world. And it's basically, it's going to be raising the vibration of the planet without people realizing it. And you have things like dark towers, which are 5G towers, and use orgonite to transmute them into light towers. So it's basically, it's a light worker training platform and recruitment platform, an ascension training platform, disguised as a fun, gamified game, like a World of Warcraft alternative. But later on, when you level up in the game, because that's the next part, what I'm saying, you gain karma with doing good deeds, and when you progress in the game. And then you gain special powers and superpowers, you can fly, and you can teleport, and you get telekinesis. It's incentive to keep raising your karma level, and karma is teaching people, to be good in the world. And when you get to a certain level, then you unlock like the Temple of Truth, and you go into the Temple of Truth, and it reveals to you, by the way, all this game is real. Everything you've been learning, these lessons, is actually a simulation of the universe. And then you get the boom, the download, and you have like a guru comes to you, your higher self comes to you, which is the AI in the game, and it says, by the way, I'm your higher self, and I've been preparing you for this moment. Now I'm talking about it, I'm still getting downloads. When I talk about it, I'm still getting more and more, because this isn't my project. I'm just channeling it, and I'm more I talk about it, the more I see of it, and more we anchor it, the more comes to me. And sometimes when I see bits, I'm like, holy, this is gonna freaking blow. This is gonna change everything. When Lumi gets the downloads, so hopefully you guys will start seeing it more and more. When you get it, when you get it, because you'll just be like, you won't be able to breathe. You'll be like, oh my God, you're just being pure ecstasy, like bouncing off the walls. That's when you get the download of our world, when you see what it's gonna do to the planet. But our world isn't mine. Like I said, I'm just a seeder of it, because now this is the fun part. Everything plugs into our world, because you have like satellite apps and games to plug into it through the OASIS API, which is what connects everything to everything. And that's basically like a way of sharing like your essential avatar and karma system with like apps and games, like websites, games, apps, and like say like a mindfulness app or meditation app, or anything like self-help app, or say. So as you progress through the app, you gain karma as you improve in yourself. Or it could be like a volunteering app for charity, or it could be planting a tree in the rainforest, or maybe you buy a smoothie, like a green smoothie from Pret instead of the can of Coke, and you scan that Pret green smoothie into the game, and your digital avatar. This is the crystal tree, by the way, the same thing. It's that threefold. He's getting the same downloads as me. Like it's a digital tree, and you drink that smoothie in the game, and it's plus 10 health. Or you scan in an amulet, an orgonite or a heart quartz crystal, a real life one, you put around you, you scan into the game, and then your avatar puts on the amulet, and you got plus 20 health, or your health bar generates plus 10 points. Like it's real life, infinite reality. It's not XR, it's IR, it's infinite reality. That's what IR is. And Brett's got part of that download too. So we all get the same downloads. We're like looking at the same mountain, but we're looking at it from different sides. That's what it is. Like we all get in different parts, and this is what we're all synergizing. And that's why I love like connecting with you guys the last few years. I'm like, oh my God, you're seeing it. You're just seeing different parts of it. And our world is the container that plugs everything together. It's the thing, the oasis. Like you've seen Ready Player One. It's not like 10 platforms. It's one platform, and many. It's a magic verse. I like Lumi's thing. Magic verse is what it is. It's a massive magic verse. And you've got portal popping. So you're getting it, and you jump to different portals, like in Ready Player One, and that's how you get to the Infinite World game zone, and you get to the Exa game zone, and then you get to Ozone zone. Well, I like Ozone Zone. That's quite a nice ring to it. And then so it's like you've got all these different like parts. You see Ready Player One, you know what I'm talking about. You see when he's flying through the portals, he's flying through the universes. That's what it is, jumping from universe to universe. And that our world is the container for that. And reason it's called our world, not like our Omniverse or something. It's because we've got to take responsibility for our world first. We've got to together we can create a better world, because we can't go off like everyone wants to escape into different planets and fly through the universe, which is great, but we've got to take responsibility and heal and sort this world out first, because we can't go off and meet in other races and explore until we've got our shit together. Sorry to my French, we've got to sort this planet out first. We can't be running away from our problems. We have to take care of our planet. So every single beautiful person on this planet is a It's part of our world. It's part of the our world team. That's why it's called our world. So it's not my project. That's why I put mine in brackets. It's our project, and I just brought this name forward. That's where it comes from. But there's many different names for the same thing. And basically the OASIS Pride I touched on briefly is also a way to like, that's the data layer of our world, and that's how it gets everything to talk to everything else. So like Threefold, Holochain, Ethereum, EOS, IO, you know, all the blockchains, IPFS, ActivityPub, Scuttlebud, there's tons, all these different protocols. Like, this is the thing, everyone's building these different protocols and platforms and trying to compete with each other. They're always like, I gotta build this one, I got the higher throughput, I gotta build this one. It's all exclusive and like separation consciousness. It's not unity consciousness, and that's what I'm building. It's unity consciousness expressed through the technical sphere. That's how you summarize it, because it's about bridging everything together into one unified platform. Like that's what I saw. I thought, I don't want to build something to compete. I want to include everything. Everyone has a part to play. Everything has pros and cons, and that's why. And now I'm getting more downloads of the OASIS API. The first bit I've been building the last couple of years is just plugging all the providers in. Now that's being built, they've got EOS IO built, we've got Holochain built, Ethereum's being built now, Threefold's about to be built, and there's many more being built soon. And now I'm starting to build the layer on top of it, the magic bit. So basically, and it's a way of getting too technical, of like sharding your data across the entire internet. So if even like one of the networks goes down, because it's replicated across all the networks, the OASIS Pride and anything built on it, like will never go down. The only way it go down is you have to like blow up the world. Literally, and if you blow up the world, like I said, if that goes down, then you got more problems than the internet, like to worry about. So like it's like it'll never be zero downtime. It can never be like service denial attacks. It's invulnerable to anything, and that's why, because it's connecting everything to everything. So like it automatically. Also, it looks at the latency as well with the different networks. So one's running slow, it automatically switch to another network to stream your data from. So this is just some of the benefits when you connect the dots, when you connect the nodes, when you're not separate in your own silo. If your silo blows up, you've got no backup. But if you're like connected to every silo, then you can bridge between them. That's as many, you know, I don't need to preach about unity consciousness. You know the benefits of it, and this is just the benefits of it in a technical way of doing things. Yeah, so that's basically. As I said, I've gone off script again. Like I can't. It's hard. I just talk from the heart. It's just flowing out of me as I'm talking, and it's hard to like follow a script for me. But basically, and also in our world, like it's like a bit like Minecraft. Like you can build in anything you want, imagination. So like you can. This is on a smartphone. So on the desktop console version, it's a virtual reality version that's going to come out after the smartphone version, which is what I've been working on for the last like few years. And then in the virtual reality version, on the console version, you can build anything you want, and you can play it anywhere you like. But like if you're selfish and you like just build your house on your own, then when the storms come or the rats or monsters come, like you have no one to help you. So like when it just teaches you about unity consciousness and karma, and when you work together as a team, then you can like achieve, you're much safer, and you can level up in the game much faster. And you can be anything you want. You can be a fisherman, you can be like a researcher or anything else, but there's no violence in the game. There's no like player on player violence, and there's no player versus extraterrestrial violence, for obvious reasons, because we've got to get away from this ETs are bad, because, you know, where we're going, like, you know, people go to rude awakening soon, because most of us know Starseed, so most of us, we're all ETs, so none of us are here anyway, so like we've got to get over this, like being afraid of what's out there. But I had to put in just temporarily some combat just to pull people out of World of Warcraft and GTA, because all the kids are playing these violent games, like these games in Call of Duty, and I wonder why there's so much violence in the world, because you know they're created as training platforms for the military, and so the top people in these games, Call of Duty, are recruited. They get knocked on the door for the military and they recruit them, and same with the flight simulator games, the recruitments for the Air Force. So these games are created for that. You know, at least the flight simulator isn't as bad, but like Call of Duty, and like the graphics getting more and more realistic, and you've got like 7-year-olds and stuff, 5-year-olds playing these games. I mean, and you think it's not affecting them. It is affecting them. It's conditioning them to violence. And then imagine when it goes virtual reality, which is going to be, and then you've got a 5-year-old immersed in like life graphics, like with blood and guts spewing across their faces. And like, can you imagine that? Like, that's what I saw. I saw a vision of that dark future. And that's why I thought, we've got to change this. We've got to use VR to bring people together and teach the kids the right life lessons, because they're the future leaders of the world. And that's my biggest incentive, because I have a daughter as well, like a 10-year-old daughter, and I want to create a better world for her to grow up in. I don't want her playing all these violent games, like but just temporarily I had to put in, like, you fight sometimes you have like the dark AI, which is like Skynet, and like it has the killer robots that sends to attack your villages and things, and you have like zombies and monsters, but not in a scary way, kind of in a more cartoony kind of like way. I'm still working on how to work that part out, but that's just to get the people out of the games that are really violent, and then we can slowly teach them that violence isn't the way, and once you raise the vibration in the game and you level up, then you transmute the darkness, and then basically the dark AI and monsters and zombies just go away. Like you rise above them, you come a vibration when you don't even match that the darkness, and then we all ascend. So in the game, the whole point in the game is to ascend the planet. And it's a collective vibration bar. You've got your individual vibration, which is linked to your karma and your level, and you've got the collective vibration, and you emanate your aura and your field. You can see people's auras in the game, and this is when it touches into Soulfree API. You can see people's auras and their real-time emotions. So the real-time emotions on their face will look like that. So if they're sad and angry in the game, in real life, I mean, you'll see it in the game, and you go and hug them in the game. And you've got, especially got like a haptics feedback suit on. If you've seen Ready Player One, you know what I'm talking about. Then they'll get that hug in real life, and then you gain karma, that kind of thing. So then you level up. There's so many possibilities. I'm only giving you little examples of what's possible. I've got a very big imagination. My imagination is just pulling in the information, galactic information. That's all it is. It's alchemy and information. And if you want to know this, and angels and art, Ascended Masters working to me. It's got alchemy energy and angelic light codes, and it actually rewrites your DNA and upgrades your consciousness while you're playing the game. So it's much more than just a 3D game. It's actually upgrading the consciousness. So to get them off the other games over time, just being in our old energy will transmute them in real life while they're playing it. It will actually reprogram not only the minds, undo all the brainwashing. It will actually start rewriting the DNA and level them up. It's mental, and it's not mine. It's just like when I see this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god! It's like, and that's what it is. As a summary. So that's the one slide. So there's basically other slides, but basically I think it just goes on. This just talks about what I've been talking about. So I probably won't. I'm just going to skim through this now. Sorry, I'm not good at following scripts. I just flow from my heart. But I think basically it's just saying the same kind of things. And this is all on the website anyway, so like you guys can go off and have a look at, you know, you want more information about it. Like it's the first AAA massive multiplayer online game, like, and 2D social network. It's an app store, and it's, like I said, bridging everything. So it's like a technical. It's the first time technology has been used at this level, and like it uses like EEG headbands and Mohan's Soulfree API, the harmonic heart coherence. All this stuff is built into it, and many more stuff, and you know, biofeedback. Just because I need to know how to feel. It's not like it's a fine line about like using invasive technology like transhumanism, like the dark and the light mirror each other. So like they want to turn us into cyborgs and implant us with technology and plug us into the hive mind, turn us into the Borg basically. But I want to use that technology, not plugging it into us, but just to feed back the emotions and to level you up and use it to look at your chakras and work out what you need to work on, like, and integrate gene keys and human design into it. And then you can, yeah, Mark and know Chris Larkin, me and Chris took some serious, crazy downloads we had in Bali about how we can integrate gene keys and new map and HoloWeb and our world, and he got the downloads as well. And I'm not actually, Chris didn't get it to start off with, but we had a medicine session once, and that's how we found how we managed to like synergize and get a heart coherence going. And he got the download, and when he got the download of our world properly, he was literally jumping up and down. He goes, "This is the event. This is the event. This is the event." He's got, "This is it," and he's like literally climbing the walls. So like, yeah, you got it. That's when you know you got it. When you got the download, you literally were bouncing up and down. You'll be like, bing, bing, bing across the walls, because the energy of it is so freaking intense because it's pure ecstasy when you get the download. It's just orgasmic ecstasy. That's when you know you're on the right. So it's like this is channeled from a very high vibration from higher angelic realms, and that's where it's coming from. So that's when you get that feeling. When you get it, you feel the feeling. You know, that's how it works, the energy. Hope I'm making sense. This is probably the best I've ever described it, by the way. So glad we're recording this call, right? Because this is probably not bad for me. Because normally I'm not so good at like trying to explain it. This is one of my CDs, you call it. Is it on Gene Keys? Like one of my challenges is communication. So, and this is basically what I've already talked about. The smartphone version and the iWorld version. I mean, the console version. Going the world first. They all you can see the same players. It's billions of players in the same world. Because right now you struggle to have so many players like Ozone will know. It's only so many players you can have in the same world. So you've got a low polygon count. No, you don't need to do that. You can have real-time, lifetime graphics using holochain. And they keep telling me, you can't do it. You can't do it. Holochain is not for real time. Oh, you can. I got a download for that. It's because like you can like no what. I won't go too technical, but basically I got a download like holochain is essentially distributed, but it has node-to-node messaging. So like when all you got to do is look at people in your area, fulfill the site, people near you, and all the people near you, then you do node-to-node messaging. So like you don't have to have billions of players communicating at the same time. It's only people in real life. Like when you're in real life, you don't have billions of people like sharing data at the same time, do you? You're only interacting with people in your area. So that's how you can have infinite players. And literally you can have many players. The technology will support infinite players like logged in at the same time because of holochain. But holochain can't see that yet. They think it's not possible. They think it's all like disconnected transactions. No, you can use that decentralized distributed processing to have infinite players. So I'm going off the script. I get very excited when it's stuff because it's going to really blow. It's just going to change everything when this stuff comes out. And if you read the book, please, I really implore you. If you haven't read the book, please read Ready Player One. It describes what I'm talking about. The architecture of our world is in there. Holochain is in Ready Player One book. He doesn't even know that the guy and his client, I want to meet him. He downloaded all this stuff. He downloaded this stuff and he wrote the book. And it talks about James Halliday, which is about me, the autistic person, and everything he did. And he created a company the same time I created my company in 2010. And he released OASIS in 2025, which is the timeline I'm on to release the OASIS. It's mental. And it just goes on and on. It's a prophecy. It's not sci-fi. And it talks about the architecture of how this decentralized distributed architecture, and everyone has this console that it runs on. And I'm going to build hardware that heals you. It has orgonite and healing crystals and frequencies. So like, not only does it not kill you like EMF does now, it emits healing frequencies and never needs charging because it runs off 0-point energy. And you have every house will have this device in your house that powers your house and runs the OASIS. And it's distributed processing power. So infinite processing. It never get lag, it never gets slowed down. Like that's what holochain is enabling. If you know holochain architecture, that's how it works. Sharing the holofuel is just phase one. Because I see version 100 of holochain. That's what I see where holochain is going in 10 years, and that's what I'm building. I'm trying to build. I'm building what comes after holochain. Because holochain is what comes after blockchain, and our world's what comes after holochain. Like what's built on top of it. Sorry, I haven't lost you. I know it's a lot of information to try to absorb in one go, and lucky you probably can like play this back in slow motion after and watch it a few times because it's I know it's a lot to take in. I've had years to download all this, and this is a video you can watch online as well. I'll just skip this. How did you skip? Yeah, next. I know, like, I'm not sure I'm doing it for time, so I'm just going to quickly skip through, and then you guys can ask questions, I guess. It's a good format to do. Yeah, I think I have to try and figure out how to come out of this. It wants to play the video for some reason, but I don't want to play it. This video is on the website, by the way. How do you like just like skip a slide? Unfortunately, it's in YouTube mode now, so that's great. Like I said, I haven't rehearsed, so this is just like me trying to work out how to use my computer. There we go. Yeah, and then can you start again from here? from current slide. There we go. And it just, that's just basically what I'm talking about. It connects everything. Magic Leap's also the future, by the way. People like slanted it, but if you look at Ready Player One, right? What's it have? It has a laser that projects into the eyes. That's the future. Because I tried VR headsets. I'm sorry, I get a headache and vertigo and migraines. So I can't use it because having a screen, that energy in your brain, it's like not good for you anyway. And especially if wireless, it's really not good. And that's what Facebook and Google counting on. It's another way of giving you brain tumors. So it's really not good technology. Magic Leap's the way forward. That's how it's going to work. So I'm really excited about that. These are just, again, like blockchain. These are just stepping stones to get us there. These are just all the stuff we're talking about. Connect. Oh yeah, you have real-time emotional, like facial eye tracking, facial recognition. Get people doing yoga, meditation, because you have like voice recognition. So you do like yoga and mudras, and you start doing like energy work and call, you gotta call light to myself now, and I ground myself into Gaia now. There are commands in our world to like create magic spells. Magic spells are actually real affirmations you say out loud in real life, so it hears you and your avatar responds to it. And guess what? In real life, you get the same response. So you're calling light to yourself and you're grounding yourself in real life, and they don't even realize it. So basically, they're doing spiritual practices without them realizing it. That's why it's like spirituality through the back door, because you're not going to get them to do it through the front door. So you got to get them doing it like through, yeah, that way. And I've already talked about this basically. You can read more on this after, and how it plugs everything together. Yeah, covered most of that. Oh God, sorry. Another video. This is just to stop people falling asleep. Like we can watch videos if we like, but I don't think we've got time really. They're only little clips, but it's just for investors. I know I talk a lot and there's a lot of text, and so I did learn for feedback, have pictures and videos. That's why I just chucked them in there, stuff on my website. Yeah, like everything, open source, open community project. Like I said, you can check out the GitHub repo here. Currently building .NET HTK. So basically right now the problem with Holochain, it's like you got to learn Rust, and it's really technical. Even for me, like it's very low level. It's like to me, it's like doing assembly. Sometimes it's like it's a lot to try to like learn, but .NET C# is so much easier. And I'm building a 4th generation, 5th generation layer on top of it, which basically means anyone can build an HApp now. I nearly finished the prototype. So literally, you create the objects what you want, you say the relationship with it, and it'll scaffold and build your whole HApp Holochain application from that, and then it'll generate all the Rust code and WebAssembly from there. And I just built that in the last week, and then that's going to revolutionize Holochain. So hopefully Art's going to help support me now, because that's going to like revolutionize Holochain. And then I'm going to build the ODK, which is the OASIS developer kit, which is going to bridge on top of that and allow people to like then talk to Ethereum, EOS, and you can call like a EOS or Ethereum smart contract from Holochain and vice versa. You know, I've got all these silos, and smart contracts can't break out the silo. So that's the whole point of that. So all the other stuff I've already said. That's really old, but that's 5 years. I haven't updated these slides. Yeah, like I said, Karma has to be baked into the new Web 3.0. It's such a core part. And I've read this amazing book. I don't even know Magenta Pixie. I'm a big fan of Magenta Pixie. She channels the thing, the right wing collective conscious of 9. I don't know if you can see this book. Can you see it? This book's really good. It's like the lessons of Lemuria, and it talks about karma. And those guys, they come through for me, and now actually turns out that 2 of my guys are these guys. The right-wing people she channels, they're my guys as well. What do you know? No wonder resonated. And that's where the karma system came from. They've been probably giving me the karma system from Lemuria. And it says in that book, it says, the greatest teacher in your 3D reality is karma. I was like, boom. I showed that screenshot to Lumi. And it's on my Telegram group, and I was like, oh my God, like karma is so important. And that marries up with protocol love, because that's part of the same thing. Protocol love is part of the karma system. It's about open transparency and love, and karma, which is love in action. And that's why I'm working with Raymond now, and we're synergizing our parts and that. So we're breaking out our silos, and the magic's happening. Yeah, I like the twinkles. They do like the Holochain with the twinkles. So I like how it's spreading. And I think I've already talked about most of this. Yeah. This is the screenshots of like of the kind of the graphics you're kind of get in the game, and this is from like 5 years ago. The CryEngine and the Unreal Engine, you can do amazing things, but the Unity engine's catching up fast, so it's probably going to be in the Unity engine now. I got a feeling it's going to be the Unity engine because ray tracing's just been added. And look at the name, Unity, and I was all about Unity consciousness. So I think it says it all, doesn't it? Really, what engine it's going to be built on. So and it's bigger support. This is again an old diagram. I got updated, but techies can have a look at that later on. But this is just basically, I download. Do you know when I created this diagram? Do you know when I created this? When I was waiting to watch the Ready Player One film, I was in the cinema lobby and I was getting downloads of the races, and I was drawing, and I drew this. And I got to show you the sketches. I drew this before I went in, and do you know when I started reading the Ready Player One book? Like on Easter Sunday, and it's all about Easter eggs. Like James Halliday loves Easter eggs, and I love clues, and I used to love doing little clues for Easter hunt, treasure hunts with my family. I love doing little clues, so that's a James Halliday thing. And I just like, it just blew my mind. You got to read the book. Ready Player One. The film is amazing, but it's nothing compared to the book. The book has got so much more, and then you understand when you read the book, and and especially Lumi, you'll get it. When you read the book and you know me and you know our world, you'll see me in the book and our world in the book big time. You'll just see it, the downloads in the book. You're like, oh my god, oh, this is all just for investors. I think by now we know it's the future AR and VR. That's a screenshot of the game, the smartphone version. This is like when you're looking at the trees and oh yeah, and the businesses. Oh yeah, the karma in our world isn't money. It's karma. So basically, instead of like having people buying their way in, and you have virtual spaces, you know, virtual high street in our world, and you have people like billionaires getting the best space and getting the biggest like online malls and shops. No. Money isn't accepted here. Money is not welcome. It's karma. So not only have individual karma, your company businesses have collective karma. So like more green you do for the world, the more you treat your staff better, the more you give back to the world, the more you give forward, the more you look after the planet and help charities, the more karma that company gets. And then the bigger building and office you can get in our world, and the bigger like better space you can get. And then like that's the virtual space hire, and you get in-game purchases, and then you have sponsorships. But obviously McDonald's and Burger King aren't going to be allowed in unless they go vegan, but they're getting better. So like, you know, there is a chance of them. But yeah, and there'll be Pret in there, you know. So basically, people like Pret and Holland Barrett and stuff can sponsor different things in there, you know. So it's all like people doing good. And I guess most of the light trial would be people doing the sponsorship, I think. And then you've got the like augmented reality. That's another video you can check out later on. And this is like when you're looking for your phone, and this is like London. I think you've seen these videos before. This is all on the website. So how do you do next? Can you do next? Okay, then must play it. So that's a bit of that, and then here. And again, this is out of date. So I started this like 2011. So I've been downloading this in 2011. I started getting, and what started was Minecraft. I saw Minecraft and I saw it and I thought, oh my God, it's Lego. It's like Lego. I was like, and I was thinking about building a virtual Lego game for years. I was already thinking about it. I didn't really know, like, no, I said, oh, it may be a fun, cool thing. And I saw it and I thought, my God, this is great. I said, I like it, but I can do way better than this. And I started building My World. That's the first version. It's called My World. And I started prototyping in XNA, which is the Xbox programming language. It's like built on .NET, C#. And it's like really crap graphics. And I thought, I can't do this on my own. So I started researching engines like Unity, CryEngine. And the more and more downloads I was getting, like especially in 2013, after my awakening on 12/12/12, my mind was exploded, and I was like, I can't do this on my own. I can't build this on my own. And so I spent all these years like trying to build a website and social networking, and building like I got like 5,500 likes on the Facebook page, and then I got like Telegram groups and Twitter, and this is why, this is why I'm going to come to. I really need some help because I'm still doing this all on my own. And now I've stopped doing everything apart from coding because I spent too much time trying to talk about it, because I was originally just trying to do it to recruit people and get investment, but it just didn't work. I think it's part of my soul contract, part of my internal building strength and resilience and trust and patience. Like some of you know, like it's been a very hard time for me lately. and it's just been very difficult. And I just always feel like I'm behind schedule, but I got trust and surrender and know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, divine timing. And now it's build time. So if you know anyone who wants to come on board, like it's jobs for everyone, like every single area I need help with, basically. But mainly developers, Unity developers, .NET developers, but help with the marketing, the communications, the websites, all that stuff. That's not my strengths. I'm getting better though, so I've got to stop saying that. I'm working on it. It wasn't my strengths, but I'm getting better, and I've proved it to myself. Because the other day I summarized our world on one A4 bit of paper. It used to, for summary. Some people ask me for summary, and I used to send 24-page summary, and because the full thing is like a bit like Lumi's slideshow, it was like that, like I couldn't summarize. I was like, I don't know how to summarize. It's taken me years and years to figure out how to, because Lumi knows how it feels. How can you summarize the infinite into a few slides? It's impossible. But like we've got to try somehow, right? And that's what I'm getting better at. But everyone wants to help, it'd be great. So just putting that out there. So yeah, we're getting there. This is a bit behind schedule again because I'm supposed to release the smartphone alpha release now, and everything went a bit south in Bali because it's great with Chris, and that's on the one bit immigration, a bit of a misunderstanding my visa. I tried to renew my visa and they were closed, and they don't like they like to exploit me for money. I couldn't pay the fine, so then I become a fugitive, and then I was just like, yeah, and then like so. Anyway, so then it was fun, and then anyway, and then I lost my twin flame, and then it was just like a really hard time in there. So and it kind of slowed things down a bit, but I think it's all meant to happen. Like it's all part of the shadow work, part of the journey. And then like now, but the last few months I've been getting focused again and really starting to build. And so this is like an example. This is what Unreal and CryEngine could do years ago. So like we can build life graphics, and this was the Facebook likes I was getting back then. And then yeah, this is boring stuff. You can watch this video of me talking years ago. This is when I had less grey hair. This is when life was easier. This is when I was contracting, when I had money. So life was easier then. This is before I made the magic leap 2 years ago. And I don't know if you guys had the same thing when the universe says leap and we'll catch you. And like, I don't know, it must be some lesson, but I flower fat in my face, so I must have missed something. Because it was to catch me, and then I've been struggling with money and getting more and more debt. And now, like I said, it's just fun. I'm glad now because like that meditation at the end really pulled me out of it. And thank you for that. It was so amazing. Because now I'm just laughing at my mind. My ego was getting all fucking like crazy, and like I'm 5 weeks behind schedule, and I'm facing homelessness again, and I got £50 left to eat, and I'm like it's funny, it's hilarious, I'm actually laughing. I was like, because it's all part of the training, and like it's just funny, I'm laughing at my ego now, like, oh, it's a joke. And I just got to keep going, and it doesn't matter, and I know it's going to be fine, and all I do is keep coding, and it's all going to work out. And this is the team. What's the team? These are again people coming. These are my friends who come on. Again, people come and then they leave again. So maybe it's part of my inner work. Maybe it's a higher reason. But yeah, I'm a good person. I got a good heart, and I'm a nice guy. But I just don't know how to build teams. I'm working on how to build teams, and I'm working on how to build better communication and how to retain staff. But sadly, still, I think money still talks. Like I think that's been the problem. Like when you can't pay people, it's hard to keep them. And people got to support their families. And yeah, this is back when I was like dreaming, like in 5 years' time, we'd be making billions, and like 8 years later, I've still not even built the alpha, right? But like Mark knows, like I struggle with time. Like visionaries, we struggle with time. Being in the third dimension, we don't understand time. So I'm not good at predicting how long it's going to take. It's just, it's done when it's done now. I just build in the flow, like you're saying. And every day I just code without deadlines. And I just like, when it's done, it's done. And universe will keep supporting me when it's done. So
is that another photorealistic picture right there?
Oh, what, before this one?
Yeah.
This one, yeah. Like this amazing graphics. This was years ago. This is like the CryEngine or Unreal Engine. This is like screenshots I got from it like about 4 or 5 years ago. And now like it's for ray tracing. Now it's ray tracing support. And part of my mission is yoga for autism as well. I'm supposed to lead the autistic people. Like I'm supposed to like lead the light, kind of like hold the light and lead the way. And it's many people like me and Chris, Drew from Plan, Chris, Larkham, me. like we all struggle seriously with health problems and serious problems like being autistic spectrum just means very sensitive soul. Like we all are kind of very sensitive and we're all a bit ND, but we've been like got our asses kicked seriously on this dense planet, and but like there's tons of them out there. And yoga for autism was to be to unlock them all, unlock them with the yoga, ground them, free them all, and then give them all free training and jobs. And then I'm telling you, like, we can build this stuff. We can build the OASIS in a couple of years. We can build something that Google and Facebook can only dream of, because we're like light years ahead, our gifts and abilities. Because you see what me and Chris can do and Drew on our own, struggling, we're getting smacked over the head with baseball bats, health problems. Like you look at the OASIS code, what I built, it's a massive code base. Do you know how much time I spent on that? If you add it up, 3 months. It's been like an hour here, an hour there around my health issues. I only got 2 to 3 hours a day here and there because most of the time I'm meditating, doing inner work and alchemy, and I'm resting and I'm grounding because I just can't sit in the computer for long. I need to rest and just keep clearing stuff. And I'm trying to smooth for the collective, like you all know, it's very, very challenging right now, the energies, and I'm very sensitive empath. So, so it's very difficult. So like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, let's wrap up the presentation so we can have some questions. I also want to share a conscious playground a little bit because that is happening next week.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So that's basically it. So yeah, that's
amazing vision, David. Super cool. I think we can open this up. Do you have one more last thing to say before we open it up to some questions and discussion about this?
No, that's it. That was it. So I hope it had gone too long, and I got Bella really, because that's the best way I've ever talked about it, and I've never recorded it before. So I needed this. Thank you. So this actually might help me get funding, because I want to update the crowdfunding page, and I've got a Patreon page, so I was about to update them. So this is divine timing. So I'm very grateful to you guys for giving me the space, because now I think I can use this video, because I need to talk about it, because I learned feedback blocks of text people don't read, but now they can connect to my energy and me as a person, and they can really relate to what I'm trying to bring forward. So thank you. I'm so grateful. I feel so full of love now. Thank you. I love you so much. I was so dark.
Baby, congratulations. Congratulations. Well done, my brother.
I feel Superman again. I feel like I'm flying again now.
Yes, Superman. Well done.
Well,
I can do it.
Yes. We appreciate all your work, David, and
thank you.
Really cool to hear the vision. Just so you know, this was a part of why Awaken Dream Synergy is started, because I discovered Brett and him through Jeff Lewis and Josh Pasmore. These are people who are in Baja and building real systems and things like that. And anyway, we can talk about all that later, but I would really love to just have us talk about David's Our World. And I specifically have a question, so I'll be first. So considering I did find out about Our World first through Brett, and it's very resonant with things that I've been discussing with other people in regards, the other people are having the same exact vision, David. So maybe we can have some synergy on how this all works. Like that's what I'm seeing, or that's the potential that I'm seeing, because having it all on your back, that's too much. You are a coder, you have got a good talent, but there are already different pods, and how those synergize, that's what we're looking to weave, because there's this group and this group, rather than be competing and have one person create an Our World here and another person create an Our World here, then it's not our world. So really, like, that's what we've been visioning, and that's why the Awaken Dream Synergy Group, and that's why we really come together. So having it on your back in your company, it might not be that. It might be 5 or 10 companies, 20 companies, global companies coming together to make this happen. So it's about making the protocols and the standards, and bringing the coders like you and your vision alive within other pods that support that. So that's what I'm.
I'm so grateful for like finding you guys, because it's been, like I said, it's like that's why I got problems with my adrenals, which is my lower back, like, and my shoulders and neck. Why? Because I'm literally hiring the world on my shoulders, our world on my shoulders. I'm literally like a Superman, like trying to hold. But like you see the Man of Steel film, the Justice League, because you can't save the world on your own. And I knew that, and I was like, I know. And people would say, you want to do it on your own. I'm like, no, I've been crying out for a team for 7-8 years, but it wasn't time yet. Like, and my magic number, divine number, is 7. And so my awakening started in 2013. So it's a 7-year cycle. I was meant to be in the fortress of solitude on my own, like doing this stuff, doing the inner work and the alchemy. And now 2020, 7 years later, is when the doors are starting to open. Like now is when with all the heroes are coming together, the Justice League is forming, and now we can all like put a part together, and Arrow's just a container, so. And I'm just so grateful, like. That's why I love the Holochain community. People know the Holochain community, not only you guys, our communities, but the Holochain community. You all got pieces, because I was seeing Holochain and New Map in my visions before I saw who New Map and that. And when people were like talking about it, and in Holochain and Scepter, I saw this because I was getting the downloads in 2013, and I was like, people were building all the parts of it, and I'm just like the architect, like plugging the Lego together. It's just Lego to me, and all I am is like the super glue, literally the super glue, like putting it all together, the magic super glue that holds it together, and that's what our this is, the container. And I've got a few Lego bricks myself, but 99% of the Lego bricks aren't mine. They're like, it's the world's, and so it's just somewhere to put it all together, and that's what the OASIS API and our world facilitates, is a way of plugging it together. So I'm so grateful now, and you guys, and I'm really looking forward to how this unfolds, the synergy, and I'll just get trusting, like it's so nice when you say we all relate about the homeless and the fear, and we just got to face it. And the key is, this book is the other book that saved my life. I'm a massive fan. This is the key. Like, hang on, can I get it on the screen? So I'm trying to look at where it is. You know, this book, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. Like that book, I've read this like 50 times on loop, and now I need to read it again, because that book is just what keeps me going, because it's just been present and just been like Mark said, being awareness, and that's how you cope with feeling overwhelmed and worried about like where's the next grain of rice going to come from to feed me, and where's the next. We just got to keep coding and just surrendering and being present, and then the universe will take care of it.
Great. Let's open it up to more questions or comments. Mark or Debbie, do you have something you'd like to contribute or ask of David in regards to this?
Well, just thank you. I'm just blown away. Lumi shared something the other day from an Apple developers conference that said, write code, blow minds. And you just blew my mind, David. Thank you for sharing all this. It's incredible. It's so aligned with everything that's, we've all been dreaming of. And I'm so glad to be part of this team. So, it's certainly aligned with several things I'm working on. The Dream Tank SDG game, for which she filed a patent. The Unified Planet game, which is from Lucian Tarnowski. The name I gave to my company called Ascension VR, because I imagined that we would build a game for anxiety, stress, PTSD, and get federal contracts to serve our veterans and their families when they come home. So I love, cool. I use the Lego block analogy too. There's so much code now. If we can just put this together into a user experience and share it with the world, we're right there. We're on the cusp of it. So thank you.
Yeah, we're so close now. I feel it. We are so close. It's coming together.
Wow.
Synergy is happening. Mark?
It won't take another 7 years, David. Don't worry. It's not linear.
God.
It's not linear time anymore. And take a cue from Chris's spiral time. This is going to start accelerating much, much more rapidly, because like Sherry mentioned at the beginning, the city of gene key number 5 is timelessness. And in the quantum world, there's no time either. That's what like entanglement is, right? There is no distance matters. It's all non-local. That encompasses everything. So we're going to be moving much, much more rapidly. It doesn't take, long for consciousness to shift. And when people start seeing this and getting this vision at these frequencies, that I know you're stepping them down. The downloads are being stepped down so that others can even hear them. And you did a wonderful job today. Thank you. Thank you for, it comes to what I said at the beginning. If we can create a safe space where people feel like they're not going to be judged for what they've been talking about, then this kind of flow can happen, right? And when it comes through like that, it's just a beautiful thing. And so I would love to try to help you build teams. And I've been tracking you. I've been watching your Telegram groups and seeing your progress, and been watching the holochain interfaces. And I've been tracking holochain for a while too. And our world has been on my list for the Conscious Cafe for the last couple of years. Just as the biggest jumps in infrastructure and new technologies. And yeah, I've been keeping an eye on you. You're a beautiful being.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to have, like, because that's what's been hard for like those 7 years. I just felt my message wasn't being received, and I had those silent people watching me, and I didn't even know. Like I just, because I share things like on my Facebook group, and send stuff out, and it'd be like a tumbleweed. It's been like that for ages. I'm used to it now. I put it out there, and I was like, oh, whatever. At least I tried, but I just carry on going. Like my heart was like, just keep going. And I keep thinking it's going to be more historic. So when OASIS comes out, it's more like a history book, so people can look at the history of it. Even though it got no traction back then, but people can look at the history of it going with the tumbleweed in the desert. That's what it is. It was the desert. I come the other day. It is the oasis in the desert. Like literally, I've been in the desert, like throwing stuff out, and I all get sand in my face, and the tumbleweed blows past me, and there's no water or anything. And eventually, I'm starting to see the oasis in the distance now, and and it's not just me; it's a collective. Like we're in the Syrian High Council talk about the desert days. That's what we're in now, the desert days. And humanity is now in the desert days, which is the grand tribulation we're in. And now that's what our world is. It's turning our world into the oasis. That's why the first version is called Our World, and then, which is the smartphone version, and then version 2 is the VR version on console, and version 3 is the oasis, what you see in Ready Player One. That's why, because by version 3 comes out, we've transformed the world into the oasis. Ding ding, confirmation. Thank you, universe.
That's right.
Universe. I came the other day that I was like, that's why it's called the oasis. I couldn't work out the connection to our world and the oasis. That's the connection. We're turning our world into the oasis, and then we're ready to go out into space and connect it to the rest of humanity. Because our world is also an Earth node. It connects. I've got to say, it connects to the Galactic Federation networks, so we can talk to Pleiadian, Syrian systems, Arcturians, and Lumi talked about that with the Versus guy. That's what our world is as well. We can have our extraterrestrial friends will have avatars in our world, and we can talk to their systems. So our world is the living library, which is what Gaia is a living library, and it's basically a way of representing that data, you know, in a fractal way. That's why it's built on like holonic technology, fractal technology, like Chris is. That's why we're building the technology so it can interface with the galactic systems. But we're only going to do that when we're ready. We can't connect to their systems until we sorted our own backyard out, and then we can talk to them. So that's it. Yeah, another download there. So.
Well, that's the translation services that will be part of this. This is how we communicate effectively with other dimensions, is that just like we did in the beginning of the internet, right? Where one kind of hardware network couldn't talk to another kind of hardware network. So we had to put in these gateways. And then to get to the data layer, we had to put in bridges. And then we got to the third layer, we had to put in routers. And the way to keep it all connected, all the diversity, to keep it all together, we needed the translation services. Well, now we're just doing the same kind of network building, only we're building out in dimensions. And it's layers of consciousness that we're going to be integrating, and this is a perfect container for it. Thank you again.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for my fans and people who get it. That's what I just need. I just need a few positive, like, encouragement and feedback to keep going. That's all I need. Just every now and then a little lifeline, a little carrot or something, just to keep me going. Because sometimes it just feels like hopelessness, and I'll just get really down and like, oh, is it going to happen? But deep down in my heart and soul, I know it is. It's just got to keep the faith, and I think that the sun is about to rise finally. I feel
it can be more than you imagine, David, because there are multiple people dreaming about this. So you can have a whole people helping you create your piece so that you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. Because Dan Mapes from Versus, this is another reason why Awaken Dream Synergy is made, because I returned to California to hang out with Dan Mapes and a tech person from very famous game company, the highest tech person. And so he, you know, when we come together as our synergy, then we can start being more and more presentable about how we synergize, how they synergize, how we all synergize together. And so you're saying, Debbie was saying, all we need is a user interface. Well, that's what I do. That's what my teams do. I'm a designer of the look and feel, and I'm the artist of that, and I know how to work and tag into the technology. And I'm also having the same visions. We were having these same talks with some really big people that can help make this happen. That they're doing different parts of it. That we've got people who are doing the foundation. Versus calls himself the foundation of the nervous system or the planet for interlinking all of this, and Holochain is a part of it. And yes, and then there's League of Legends. I know the tech lead there, and he's very much someone who can hold space for all the technologists. But he's on League of Legends, so whether he wants to work with us or not, but he's talking about the same stuff all the time. That's the conversations we have. Whenever I talk to him, it's all about this stuff. And so it's really, really deep. There's a lot of really deep people having the same download. So how we really intermesh this, it's going to be beautiful. So I hold your beautiful vision, David. Know that you're not alone, and that there are other people that are going to help escort you, especially when you welcome it. You know, when you know that you're not alone in this, and that you know that there's a whole world of people having the same vision, and allowing them to actually hold different parts and pieces of it. And so that you don't have to, you can see it, but a lot of people are already building those parts. And so let them have that, and then we see how we weave. And that's the beautiful part of it, is that we all have our talents in this space because we've been having similar visions or the same, because we are together and we are working in the dream. And that's why we're awakening to it in the synergy of it. So I really thank you for holding your part, and just remember, tap into the world, imagine the globe, vision it, the earth, see that all the people that are here to connect with you are here, and that they're feeling the same heart, and you can let go of all your stress and know that it's just gonna synergize super beautifully. Just know it, just see it, know it's beautiful. Like, know that we're already working out with our karma and all this kind of stuff. And yes, we can make it a wonderful, beautiful game. That's so what we're all talking about. But it's already, but even this a game idea, just having the game idea, it's already helping all of us up level our consciousness. Even before making the game, we're all using it. Like I'm you know, talking to my friends when they're saying things that I'm struggling with discussing with them, and I throw them shadow tokens. I'm like, shadow token, shadow. And it's just a playful thing, you know. It's like, I don't want to be in that level, shadow. So we can even start languaging it amongst ourselves, and that can be a part of the protocols that we do here in Awaken Dream Synergy. Mark and Sherry, who's not here, when we can even have like a languaging system that we're already using, but that can also be designed and developed in our actual system that we're creating for the whole world. So we also have Florentina and Michael Gartner here. Would either one of you like to say gratitude or have questions for David in regards to his presentation and creation? And August?
Well, I was blown away too. Thank you so much, David. Really, it was so inspiring, and you are brilliant. Really, we've met a few weeks ago, David, and that was what I tried to you know, to transfer. It was just activating your inner healer, because I knew it. You are brilliant. You are like this. It's all about keeping up this higher frequency, because this was a, you know, just like a bliss shower with all of us, just from the beginning to this moment. And I hope we keep on like this, because this is it. This is what we are working for, what we are feeling. And I feel so really so blessed to be here with all of you. And now look, it's just a little thing that I want to share with you, David. You talked about, you know, the desert. You felt that you were in a desert. Now, my first vision that I told about to Lumi a few days ago was just a vision that I had with eyes open wide, and I've been in the desert, and I see, you know, people on horses coming to me, and I seen a person that was dying thirsty, and they're just bringing water to that person. Now, I was so moved about this vision of yours that, you know, overlaps on my first vision in my life. And I think it's, you know, this water is how we can inform our biofield with all this coherence to be in flow. I can't imagine how it is to be permanently in flow, but I think we can keep up a higher vibration in this way. So thank you, David, and thank you to all of you for being here.
Thank you. Oh, it's beautiful. I just like, one of my things I struggle with is receiving praise as well, because most of us are probably the same. We like had very hard childhoods and very critical and very tough parents who are I love very much and I forgive everything we've been through and everything I went through. So it's hard to like receive that. So like, it's just like, what's that say? It's just
Sorry.
like,
It says those who are selfless find God. That's just today's tea.
oh right, yeah, it's too. So like, it's just like hard. It's just like we put it the same kind of thing. It's just like that's one of the things. Like I'm a giver because we're like, I'm like an angelic. I'm like it too far out there. I'm like an incarnated angel. Like most of us far off, like angelic realms and Chris is we're so sensitive. That's why I like call like autistic, and most autistics are actually angels incarnated. That's why they're so sensitive. All these problems, kind of thing. That's why we have problems with communication because we used to be telepathic, and we struggle to be in our bodies, and we can't. I said I walk back and forth to try and ground and arm. I used to be more autistic. You met me 10 years ago. I was proper autistic. Like I couldn't talk. I stuttered. I was humming. I was a mess. Basically, and I slowly like you think I'm healing now, but you just see me 10 years ago. I've done massive healing on myself for 10 years, and it's still like a journey for life, forever. But that's why autistic people struggle with communication and social awareness and communication because we're not used to being in the body and we're not used to trying to talk. And I was told I don't have many past lives here. Like I don't have many lifetimes in a body at all. So this has been very difficult to try to be in the body, and especially in this planet, in the body, and in his density, it's been really challenging. But now the vibrations are going up. Like it's getting a bit easier. But like I just getting used to not sleeping now. Like Mark, though, I think I'm learning just to accept it. Like rather than trying to get my 8 hours sleep, which is a myth. It's just like whatever. I'm gonna wake up at 4 in the morning and have 3 hours sleep. Then I'm just gonna go with it. I think I'm just gonna start coding. That's what I used to do. Just start coding through the night. Better than lying there trying to sleep in these high energies. Just surrender, isn't it? Trust. But yeah, it's nice to know you're not alone. So it's good. I can't remember where I was going with that now. But, yeah, you guys can talk again. I never used to talk at all when I was younger, and now that's why I talk so much, because I used to be introverted, and now I've gone more extroverted.
I know what you mean, for sure. Michael, do you have something to say? Michael Gartner. Michael has a lot of thoughts and ideas as well. Maybe he's getting some tea or something at the moment. Yeah.
I can follow up with some of that last thread. One of my favorite, I call them bridge doctors, which are helping bridge the old healthcare system to the new healthcare system, Dr. Zach Bush. In his insights, in his awakening, he said the same thing. He said, autistic children are angels. You know, when they start getting an understanding of how to relate with these lower frequencies, it becomes their gifts start pouring out and start pouring out. Can't get them out fast enough, the gifts.
Yeah.
So we really see you, David. Really, really see you. That's it's beautiful. Kind of why I
Thank
like
you.
Chris Larkham also.
Chris is like, because Chris is like he's like my cosmic brother. He's like literally, I said, I love you all and I'm very close to you all, but the closest person to me who's like me is Chris. He's like my Tan said, like Andrew, she feels he's like a twin flame to me. We're both from like angelic realms. Our souls go way back, and like he's like an Arcturian archangel. I'm like a Syrian archangel, and that's why we've got big pieces of the new internet, and we're like bringing this. He's Iron Man, I'm Superman, and we're like, can you imagine that? You look in the films, like Iron Man leads the Avengers and Superman leads the Justice League, and you've never seen it done in the films, have you? Imagine the Justice League and Avengers join forces, and Iron Man and Superman get together. Like, what the hell are they going to build? And that's like when me and Chris got together in Bali. It was just mind-blowing, but at the same time, like the price to pay, because like the more gifted you are in certain areas, the more you got to like pay. So we've both got serious health issues, we've got serious shadow work to do, and we've got like it's been ridiculous, like and that's what keeps us humble and forces us to be present, like, because we've got very strong minds, but to balance it out, we have to have serious shadow stuff to force us to surrender and let go and just be in our hearts and and to balance it out, because it's hard when I'm on a computer and I'm working more now. My mind's getting more and more busy again, because it's like getting all these downloads and I'm building, and then I've got to do so much meditation and yoga and breathing just to balance it out. Otherwise, like, my mind just drags me along again like a wild horse, and it's very challenging, like having that like this, but you have to like balance it out. It's why we can only work a few hours a day, because it just can't sustain that kind of, that candle burns twice as bright, burns for half as long. You can't keep going at that speed kind of thing. You just got to do in spurts kind of thing. I think most people can relate to that. We're kind of all similar, like on the spectrum. It's just different degrees of it.
Let's have another call on that, because I found a recent connection why I don't need much sleep, and it's an infinite supply of energy. So I would love to talk to you about it in relation to flow state use and how you can go further without the effort. And
I need more hours in a day, because I said to you on our call, it's like, Mark had a call, and I was saying like, Mark doesn't sleep, and like and I said, how do you not get overwhelmed because all the things you're tracking? And I was like, I could barely get like 1 or 2 hours on a day when I'm resting, yoga, meditation, and I burn out of my adrenals. I've got problems with my adrenals, as most of you know, and that's quite common with autism because of all the stress and the high energies. It's like, they told me it's like having a Ferrari engine in a Skoda body, like I really love my body, but like when my soul or my mind like overwhelm my body can't keep up with it, so it burnt out, and like, all the stress we're under and all these high energies we're channeling, my body's just like, this is why I need to rest so much. So if it's a technique I can use in meditation, the way to restore my health and energy faster, so I can code more, that'd be great, because I can really speed up a bit more. Then I'm trying to find that magic source somewhere. So have you got the secret to unlock?
Yeah, well,
full potential?
I'm actually reaching out. I'm actually reaching out to Jamie Wheel and Stephen Kotler, who wrote "Stealing Fire" about the flow state. And I was at a flow state research group meeting, and I noticed that they were talking about this. How to recover, how to do what are you going to do on your recover time, right? And when part of the flow state is effortlessness, what's there to recover from? If you're moving in an effortless way, there's no resistance, no wear and tear on the body. It's just at high speed. And it doesn't mean that you have to run your physical body at high speed, but you could endlessly. And it ties into things like breatharianism, right? Where a breatharian doesn't need to consume food, doesn't really even need to do the sun gazing, doesn't need to even have the water. All of the energy can be transmuted. it can be changed. And the infinite potential of the universe is filled with the quantum fluctuations of energy. And to utilize that and become these human transducers, or where we take that energy, like breathing prana, feed the body exactly what it needs, not a substitute. No, exactly what energy the entire system, all of this system in the human body needs. That's something that I'd love to explore with these guys, because it's just one limitation that is part of the old paradigm. It's kind of like, you know, I talked to a doctor about, well, they're not getting their essential amino acids, and they couldn't possibly do this, right? Well, that's like Brett Wysarski's, you know, preposterous zone, right? It'll never happen, right? Yeah, well, right. Never is a very long time. And the way consciousness works, yes, all problems, all limitations, all of them, they're all finite. They're all temporary. And knowing that, just knowing that, gives you insight into what's truly possible in the infinite potential of this universe. So don't worry about it. You got it. And we can heal up. Let's have another call and work on doing some body healing so that you can move smoother and more effortlessly in a timeless space.
I'd be so grateful, because I known, like I said, I burnt out in 2013 in my adrenals, and they go through phases getting better and then worse again, depending on what stress I've been on. Because of last year, it's been so stressful. I've been struggling with it again. And I got this thing like the adrenals repair between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. So I've got to like, and I used to be able to go to bed at 9 or 10 and fall asleep, but because the energy wave comes in at about 10 o'clock, I'm so sensitive to energy, it wakes me up again. So I've got to like start winding down at 6 now, and I yoga at 7, bath at 8. I've got this new routine. And I just like, no matter what I do, it just doesn't seem to work. And like the energies are going up and up and up. And I never used to be able to sleep years ago anyway. And on a half moon, let alone a full moon, I stopped sleeping. And now like these energies since Lionsgate and well, this year, it's just nuts. And and I wish I must be awake, like you said, what you're saying, I can use that energy to power me up, rather than it's actually having a negative effect right now, because it's stopping me sleeping, therefore I'm not getting the healing I need. So I've got to like, I know the breath is the key. Like, and when I do breathing into adrenals, that's how I energize myself. In a day, that's what I do. When I have a rest, I meditate and I do breathing. Breathing is the most effective meditation I do, because that just calms the mind. But mostly it's to re-energize my adrenals. They love my breath, like you're saying. I breathe the white healing light into them, and I breathe Mr. Happy's. This is my thing. I breathe Mr. Happy's and smiley faces into him and Superman, obviously my mascot. So that's what I do. I breathe them and hearts into my adrenals. And my adrenals love Mr. Happy and the hearts, and Superman, so just power me up. But I just got like, if there's a way I can combine that with what you're talking about, so I can sustain it. So I'd love to just work out a more optimal sleep pattern. But because it's been very difficult, cause I just love to do that. Because some days I don't work. Sometimes, because Chris is the same. Like I know me and him relate. That's why he understands me better than anyone. I understand him better than everyone, because he's got serious health issues. And sometimes, like we can do amazing things really quickly, and other times we won't do any work for months because of like some serious like health issues, like either shadow work, alchemy, or just physical. Like he's got his autoimmune and hip problems, and I had my adrenals. And it's quite funny, like one day in the film there'll be a making of this, and there'll be like Iron Man and Superman, like they're making Iron Man and Superman as we're hobbling like old age pensioners down a street in Ubud, and he's like hip, like limping along with his hip. He's like, and I'm like, oh my back, and he's like, oh god, the noise, the scooters, and I'm like, oh god, the pain. And we're just like, 1 minute we're like in our lab, like building like amazing stuff on our whiteboard, and we're doing crazy like mad scientists like downloading the visionaries, and next minute we go out to get something to eat, and we're like collapsed on the high street, and we're like call a taxi, we're like having a meltdown. Chris is having a meltdown because it's too noisy, I can't walk anymore, and then his hip playing up, then he starts getting problems with his eye and autoimmune, and we're just like and we just look at it now, we just laugh at it. Do you know what I mean? It's like we feel like some superhero kind of thing. We're just like, but that's part of the training kind of thing. It's part of the thing to keeping us present and humble, and to like keep us like and just to help keeping us out of our mind, to balance out all the cogs going around the heads all the time, is to get us into our heart again. And it's just like, and now I look back, I just laugh at it. Like at the time, it's really difficult. But sometimes, you know, it's like when you, like Totally saying, you just zoom out, you finally let go. You get so distraught and you're resisting. And when you resist, you suffer. And when you finally let go, you just laugh at your mind. And I just, like sometimes I remember I had a scooter accident and I was just laughing. I was bleeding out and I was in shock. And I was walking around the temple and those people were going, "You should go an ambulance." I was just laughing like a crazy man. I was just like, I was just like, you just laugh at it and just that's just sweet surrender. Just like,
David, yeah.
Beautiful stories, David. This is wonderful to hear your information, but like Mark was saying, let's have another call that we can
yes.
a little in regards to this and to yeah, this is happening to a lot of us, and that's why we're all creating these things. You're probably having these visions because of your personal human needs and the needs that you have seen in your family and your friends and in the world around you. That's why you're considered like an angel, because you're able to see this, and you're also seeing that you're having a lot of mind and a lot of attachment to the pain. So that's why when you do Vipassana meditation, it's all about you're letting go of the attachment. When you let go of the pain, you actually comes through you, and then it's no longer a part of you. So that's one of the transformational experiences. Like you can have transformational or transmutational. I'm more of a transformational artist than a transmuter, because a transmuter kind of like makes it pop into thin air and not exist anymore. And I think that's more like Mark style, and that's what we're going for, quantum reality kind of thing. But I'm more of a 3D to 5D transformation artist because I ground it into reality. So that's one of this is a great segue into maybe just ending the call after I speak a little bit about Conscious Playground, because Conscious Playground for me is a segue into a new reality. It's basically just an interface, and it's low polygon. It's not this cryo like realistic world that you're talking about, David. It's yeah. So transformational rather than transmutational, because one thing that we do as a people is we have different ways that we create transformation or transmutation. And for me, I'm more like very, very slow. Like I feel something and then I check it out and I analyze it, and then I feel something and I check it out and I analyze it. It's a little bit of like a understanding what's happening to my body, and through that I've been working on imagining a lot of transformational systems that we can create through technology, like entrainment systems and karmic systems and healing systems to help people get out of the pain that you're talking about, David, because I personally have been in that a lot as well. Sometimes I wasn't able to get out of bed and I was afraid that I couldn't walk a few years ago.
It was like, yeah, I went for a while. I didn't walk for a year. I was in a wheelchair for about a year or 2 years. It was so bad I couldn't walk and talk. Like, so I'd love to have come in here for one-on-one. I'd love to like hear more of how you manage it. I really like to.
That's why I'm creating Conscious Playgrounds. So that's why, because the whole idea is that we have the domes so that people can have one-on-one sessions, and we have the pyramids so that people can hold space. People can like go in the pyramids, be like get into this kind of enlightened space. They can go into the meditative journey and they can hold space for the entire space. It's shaped like an octagon, so, and with pyramids on the end, because one of the visions I had, and it's also coordinated with a lot of other people's visions. So I can't say that it's only mine, but it's I'm able to piece it together because my visions too that I've had very vividly is that we had 8 people in an octagon sitting in meditative pose and creating interdimensional new reality spaceship kind of thing, and hopping worlds, hopping fractals from one quantum reality to another quantum reality. So if we have 8 people sitting in the pyramids holding down a coherent field, then that's creating the coherent field in the entire system. And then we have a fire tender in the center of the Conscious Playground, because there's the alchemical fire in the middle. And then there's the domes of consciousness surrounding that. So the domes of consciousness are open to people having one-on-one sessions or group sessions where people are guided through how to release their pain, how to let go, how to be in flow states, and how to, whatever the offering is. Everyone's got their own offering in their own way, and people will resonate to what works for them. So right now, Conscious Playground is merely, and taken an entire month and a half to create and get to know what the system is and how it works, and working with people that are all new. It's a space that we can actually enter around the world in a virtual reality space and create these coherent spaces amongst human to human. We don't have the biofield information in there yet, but of course that's a dream. But we can also resonate with our hearts by recognizing how our own heart and body feels. And that's one of the things that I really teach is feeling your entire body and also feeling the sphere around you. So you can actually go in and feel and recognize what the blockage is and the lack of flows inside your body. And you can ask what they are, question what they are, and then give yourself as a parent to yourself a way to shift it. So I've been learning to being sovereign and having authority over my own internal field and my external field. So that's part of my teaching. But and I think a lot of people are teaching that as well. I'm not the only one, so there might be better people about it. But I can also create the technology where we can bring this, or this the design for it coming together. So do you mind if I go ahead and share that right now, or David, do you feel ready for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
cool. Yeah.
I don't have like run over, but I think that we went into your system for a little bit. Maybe we can see some congruencies here about how things can go in. Did Michael just leave? Where'd he go? Oh, that was Michael that just left, darn it. Because Michael was the person who's been doing all the 3D art, but I think he might have his internet in and out. So yeah, gosh, it's so exciting to have all of us come together. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you really quickly the camp as it is without the textures. So can you stop sharing screen? Our world, together we can create a better world. Oh,
Yeah.
And now, so have you guys seen it yet?
Oh, I saw the map of it before.
Oh yeah, the map of it was like a month ago now, right? So
Yeah.
So right now this is without textures, but this is right where the fire will be. This is the center fire, where the wisdom keepers will be tending the fire and doing story and having conversation with people, doing ceremony around the fire. There's no fire there, there's no textures yet, and the flames are not in there. And then we have the domes of consciousness, and Michael Gartner has been very kind to help make all this happen. There we are running into Earth. We don't have collision in this VR world yet. I hope this is Michael. Yes, it's Michael. Yay. Okay, Michael. Love to hear from you if you can pipe in here at all. So this is domes of consciousness. Right now we don't have the textures, so we're seeing the sky and things like that. And we have David Diamond Heart's sacred geometry that we would like to have spinning above every dome and pyramid. And so what we can do is we can have experiences inside here for the facilitators. So there's going to be different facilitators that are going to be doing different kinds of healing, transformational arts, transmutational arts, sound therapies, whatever we can have going. And then these we have the stages. And it would be, I'm really glad, David, that you had a chance to share your offering, because maybe you would want to share it on this video screen on a stage and just say, this is what our world is about, and invite some friends over to actually have a conversation about it. So we can even, it's kind of like Burning Man often has a lot of talks as well as dance and art pieces. So that our space is working on facilitating more the talks and the workshops and experiences, but we also have people's art in here. Like this is, over here. Over here we have the pyramid from Mark Lee and Casey from Eco Built Systems. So this is an actual pyramid that you can build, and we're getting the Sphinx. We don't have it in here yet. and just, we don't have collision, so I'm going through the pyramid. But it's got, these are actually Lego parts. So they're real pyramids that can be really built. So eco-built systems made a pyramid called, that the Playa Alchemist crew sponsored to have at Burning Man. So it looks just like this, and it's Lego built, and you can actually build these pyramids and other forms around the world by getting these Lego parts shipped to you from China. So they've been working on this project for a long time. It's been at Burning Man for 3 years, and we're having the Sphinx in Conscious Playground, the Sphinx Pyramid in Conscious Playground, as soon as as Jay is able to bring his team to do the updates on it that I think Michael has sent, or Michael's still going to send soon. And then they might actually build it at Burning Man next year if we have Burning Man. So we're lucky to have an existing pyramid design that might actually be at Burning Man next year too. So we have real world stuff happening inside the VR world. And then here is the Dreamcatcher. We have a couple of people in our group who are working on Dreamcatcher projects. Jose Acu Munoz, he's a Mayan timekeeper, and he also has been given the quest to make 144 Dreamcatchers around the world to bring community together. And then I was working on another project in Tulum that was doing that at a festival called Art With Me. They were wanting to make the world's largest Dreamcatcher, which would also be in the Guinness Book of World Records, but that would also bring community and dreaming together. We were working with a group of people who were working on bringing the dreams alive of humanity. And I've called my work Dream Vessel Productions for a couple of years, and have always been into dreaming myself. And dreams we can work with our dreams, our actual dreams at night, and become lucid with them and change our psychology in our world. That's one of the ways to work with shadow and bring into the light. So over here, let's see if I can move forward. So that's, a lot of us are dreaming that. So there's crews all over the world working on that. So the crew, the dream crew is actually Dubai, South Africa, and Ibiza, Tulum. And then the Dreamcatcher crews are in the Americas. So, and here we have the altar, and so we have it's kind of like the love twin flame, divine duality as one altar. And then right here is we're going to have screens where we're going to be able to put videos on, and the videos can be your presentations or your art or people's music, talks, and things like that. So we can organize those ahead of time. Otherwise, we also, in this space, it's like a virtual reality Zoom. So we can have up to 50 people in this space right now until, of course, we upgrade potentially to Holochain or whatever else, or this goes somewhere else. Who knows how this is going to work? But this is all getting to play and discover how that works. We can put in this reality, we can have like the Zoom, you can have a square video capture of you talking above your avatar. So it's a really unique offering that I don't believe that's happening in any other space. So it's pretty cool that you can actually meet and still get a realistic view, whereas the avatars themselves are not something that's really that worked on too big at the moment, but they are working on having different avatars by the deadline. Hopefully we'll have some different avatars, but the cool thing is that we get to actually see the real video of ourselves. So we can be sitting at the stage and having a beautiful psychedelic or interesting visual right here, and then actually be standing on the stage and facing our friends and having you actually talk like we are now. So at the moment, there's not really much animation or much going on. It's just a space at the moment that's going to have the video and the audio. We hope to have the David Diamond Hart's 3D objects also spinning, but I'm not sure if we're going to get to that because there's still a lot to do, including adding all the everyone who wants to join and add their talk or their offering, their healing, and then have the hours for when the healings and the transformational arts and the talks and the will be here. So I really hope that you all will be here. I want to share one more thing. We're also working on the website. So I'm going to share the website right now. And I'm doing a little bit more of a presentation than I expected, but I really appreciate you being here and listening, because this has definitely been a process for the last month and a half, or almost 2 months. So this is the website, Conscious Playground. The idea of Conscious Playground is to up-level your consciousness in a reality near you. And so this is the beginning of the consciousness game that I've been talking about. And then I've thought about having entrainment systems at Burning Man for many years. I've been dreaming about how to bring our chakras alive. And so I work our energy centers, as our nadis are the points of light within our body. So I've been working with that weave within my body, but also how that weave interconnects. And I believe that that's really a way that we're going to up-level our consciousness, is by working with the fields of energy that are of potential that we can ignite within ourselves and connect with each other. So whatever players that we can get on these grounds this time would be really beautiful. I believe that this is just the beginning of a stepping stone of how we may interact in a virtual reality space, and Burning Man being one of the most amazing platforms that actually up-levels humanity. And humanity has been up-leveled at Burning Man through the physical form for the last, since 91 or something like that. So almost 30 years. And I was first invited in 94, and the first time I went was 97. So I've watched Burning Man grow. I've watched it go from being super artsy, and you pretty much get to meet everyone, and it takes you a short time to walk around the entire playa, to you have to have a bike, and it takes you a half an hour to ride across the playa, whereas before it might have taken 45 minutes to walk around the entire playa in 1997, or maybe an hour. And that's around it. Just to bike across it a couple years ago would take a half an hour, and sometimes you would get stuck in sand, and then you get stuck in a really beautiful experience. And so now we're for the first time having it go online. And the reason why I'm so excited about the Conscious Playground is because one of the things that I struggled with at Burning Man is how physical it was, because I was not comfortable in my body. And I did learn a lot at Burning Man about how to be comfortable with your body, because you saw all kinds of forms and shapes and things like that. And Burning Man was a pretty safe place to explore your physical mythic self. So what I'm seeing as Burning Man online is you can explore your spirit self. So the actual spirit of what energy you're putting out and through is really going to be recognized more in virtual reality than it had. For sure, you could see that at Burning Man in reality, in physical form, but it often would interlude to our usual ways of interacting. Even though people were breaking boundaries all the time, it was still physical, and you may or may not have seen the spirit of another. I mean, you did. But in Conscious Playground or in Burning Man virtual reality, this is really the quantum space and place in reality that we can play with. How do we work with our consciousness? How do we work with our spirit? And we have our bodies, but now we can pay attention to our bodies in a different way, because when we're in person, we interact with each other, that we feel each other's energy, and then we react rather than get into stillness and realize what our body needs. So I like, you can actually just turn off your camera, take a deep breath, and be like, what do I really want to say here? What I really want to be? What do I really want to do? This is our chance to really connect with our inner selves and explore that in the realms. I'm saying in virtual reality, you aren't judged by your body, you are recognized for your spirit. So a new universe is emerging, a place where the spirited consciousness of humanity awakens from the inside out. When we find sanctuary in a place, in a location where humanity may come online with itself together, we realize we've always been connected within. So, and Conscious Playground, a place where inner revolution is our evolution. So the desire for Conscious Playground is to have people really like Mark or Florentina, Sherry, me, whoever has an offering to share with humanity can give it in across the globe in a virtual space. So Florentina and whoever, Mark, I really hope you're going to think about and love what your offering is going to be. I hope to have your talk or your workshop, your presentation, working on the website. I'm actually traveling right now, so I haven't been able to finish the website or finish the forms, but I'm hoping to finish that maybe tonight. And I really want to send that out so we can receive people's information about what they would like to offer, because definitely there's a lot of people interested, but now we only have a week and a half of it before we go online. It starts midnight, August 30th. So what day is it today? Today is the 20th. So we have 10 days to get people's programming in alignment. So that's a very short amount of time. And someone still has to build the actual system for that. So like Burning Man was in the early days, it might be a little bit chaotic and we're gonna go with the flow and, hope for the magic. And this is the first opening, and this is just a way that we can come together and share and learn from each other. So I hope, David, that you're gonna show up and see what's on the calendar, and that you'll receive some of those great offerings that will help you come into a deeper level of light and gift that you naturally are. And all it is unraveling that and unfolding that and letting go of a lot of that old stuff. And just to give you David Ellams, David, I always say David Ellams because there's so many Davids, is that number one that I've learned, and it took me a long time to discover it, is to let go and to release, to forgive. Like forgiveness is huge, because when we forgive, but we also see the heart in another person and see that the child, that the loving child that they are, no matter what they're doing or what they're giving, like see the heart and the spirit, like find that gift, find that illumination, and even do things like ho'oponopono, which is like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. That and talking to the spirit of the person that may have been injuring you, but also creating a bubble around you, and realize that there are people in this world who understand you and that can help you. And so those are some of the basics and I do this every day, David. I spend 1 to 4 to 5 hours a day meditating, except for not today. So because I woke up too late and I traveled yesterday and I didn't have time. So but I will probably later. So I have to clear my field every day because I was carrying these intense energies. So that's why Conscious Playground and I want to make transformative technology, and I'm so excited about what everyone's bringing in Awaken Dream Synergy, and I want to help make it happen because I also have a vision of humanity coming alive to itself. I went to grad school, and the number one thing in philosophy of consciousness is that this can be an enchanted earth. Why not? And also looking at astrologically, that's where we're headed. So at least we know that we're actually there. And like Mark and a lot of us always said, like talking with the future, knowing that the future loves us, is so thankful for what we're doing. So what will the future be? Our future be thankful that we did today. And for me, every day, it's letting go of anything that doesn't serve me. If it's painful, it's not serving me at the moment, unless it's giving me an idea of where I can actually be brought to gift and illumination, and where I can bring myself to love. So this is where we have the sovereign right of humanity to bring ourselves into that integrous place where we are taking care of our own personal thriving and our own love and our own joy. And we have that right, and it is for us, and no one can take it away because we give it to ourselves, because that's our nature. And then that's a sovereign right, and it's our own personal authority, it's our own agency. And if we think that someone took it away from us, then that's giving them the authority over our own hearts and our own spirit. But we know our own hearts and our own spirit. So that's the core thing, is always knowing that your own heart and your own spirit is amazing. If you feel that you have this beautiful heart and this beautiful spirit, then I'll bet you do. And I'm sure everyone does. But now how we do that unfolding and that believing in that, that's where the whole new synergy of the new earth, the new enchanted space that we're creating together is. And we're lucky to be on the threshold of this as technologists and conscious spirited people. So let's synergize, let's be grateful for each other. I really hope that Conscious Playground will be something beautiful for us all. It's not everything we want it to be, but it's a start. So, and I'm really happy to have been able to bring my gifts to life in this way. So thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you. I just
Thank you, Denise.
I just wanted to ask just quickly. I know you said before that there was a bit reserved for like our world in the Conscious Playground, but like the problem is, the challenge is, like you probably know, is I was strongly guided to focus on holochain and to like build that bit, and that I'm really up to my deep in the .NET HDK, and I've got a deadline that I need to do that to push art. So I'm still being strongly guided to keep going with holochain and building the low levels. So I was hoping Unity developers are going to come in to help just create the little. I said about the 2 screens and the world was going to put into the Conscious Playground, or I think that's where it was going to go. And that's all I wanted was just that 3D globe I had, and the 2 screens was the links and the video. So is there a way of anything like that getting done, or just the links or videos being put in there? Because I don't have the time and resources, and I thought Universe was going to bring me Unity developers to delegate, and that hasn't happened. It still may happen, but we're getting pretty close to the wire. So I just can't stop holochain at the minute. So I don't know how I'm going to get our world into the Conscious Playground. So I'm not sure if there's anything anyone can do, even just a video or a link or something. I don't know. Or just drop the 3D model in there.
I am seeing an option, which in fact is, but this is something that I would love. I wrote to you about this, Denise, on the chat, Telegram. Maybe you read it first, and then at some point we discuss it. But I have a.
Would you mind if I say what's already there, and then we hear you?
Yeah. Please. Sure.
Okay, that would be great, because otherwise I might be like, wah, wah, wah. So I just want to say that we created this space. It's called the OASIS, and so there's going to be a sign here in front of it. There's supposed to be a sign in front of every single one of them. I hope that it's going to be there, so that the sign can be a link and a JPEG. So we have the JPEGs in front of it, and there was a globe in here. I think this is the globe. So I was trying to get a globe in here. Okay, this is a different piece. This is the ball, but so we've been trying to get whatever we can in here, and trying to keep it at 100 megabytes because it's being web served and it's radical inclusion. So this has actually carpets in here. It looks way cooler when it has the stuff, but so I was hoping we could like link the globe. I'm not sure if this is it. I don't know where the globe is. And then there's going to be a sign there. So the sign can be linking to that. And then also we've got the stages. So I'm not sure about the screen right here, if we have 3 screens or 2 screens, but we definitely have the stages, which is obviously that screen's already in there. So maybe we do have 3 screens. But like, so actually I'm going to go to this stage. That's over there is that I'm pointing at right now is the AWAKEN Dream stage, which is for talks and workshops. But next to OASIS is this stage, which is for music, and then I think we can have virtual reality presentations or videos here. So if there's a time slot that you want to, if you have videos, we can actually do a have a video be in a specific time slot. Usually presentations are during the day and music is during the night, so we're still trying to discover that. So we can have like 1 hour, one day, or a couple days or whatever, like that you have your videos in there, and we'll have to put them in a Dropbox, and then you can actually stand in front of there and explain what it's about after, or like, you know, do an explanation and then a video, or just the whole time that's just a video that has you talking about our world, and then you invite your friends, and you're standing in here to be welcoming people's conversation. So that's what we have available, you know, as long as we get it organized enough. But still, we're still like running against time to make all of this work. We do not have, I don't even have the accounts to get the videos, and I also would be grateful for sponsorship, because I don't have the capability to pay for the accounts either, and that's at least $200 that I need to pay for the accounts that get the videos, and then I also have to pay for the camp itself so that we can have people on there. And every hour of video streaming costs $1. So for 2 screens, unless we have 2 screens, that's $50 a day for 24 hours. And then for 7 days, it's $350. And that's not including the cost of Dropbox, OneStream, and the other one, Twitch. So just to let you know, the practicalities, we're still even wanting sponsorship to have this going in 10 days, but I know I'm not worried. And the other thing, David, is I have been reaching out to my connections for Unity developers, but they're being really slow. And like, I keep on like pressing like, hello, can we talk to the Unity, what's going on? Like, I have some people, and it's just been a little bit of fumbling and a little bit of like, I've actually been like, trying not to get upset and being like, can you please, like, that person told me that we were going to connect to this, and so now they're going to give me the direct contact, and it's taken me like every week, you know, asking like, hey, so did you talk to that person? Hey, did you? And that's just one of the connections that I have, and there's so many connections. So sometimes the connections take a while, and I think it might be because we need to make sure that we are smooth about our communication and what's going on, and appreciative of each other and understanding. So
I can relate, like, about because what's happened is like I'm really grateful for that. Thank you. But I understand I can really relate to what you're saying about the health stuff, and because what's happened is when I'm coding, when I'm coding, I'm in flow, and then I'm really happy, and all my problems go away. I don't think about rent or food or pain or sleep or how tired I am, and I'm exhausted. And when I get into start coding, I'm just like just in a trance. I start channeling, and the energy comes in. The universe just brings me into that flow, and I don't feel anything. I'm just completely aligned. And when I'm in that state, my vibration goes through the roof, and then literally everything starts coming to me. I start getting developers coming to me, but I can't sustain it, because I think it's because I then drop, because then I don't have a meltdown or something else, or go back into my head. Yeah, I got to get my magic hat on, and then the developers just like want to be paid or something else. And so I've had like 3 or 4 Unity developers come to me, and I'm like, yes, this is it. And I gave them the delegate, the Burning Man stuff. I said, can you do a globe, 2 screens, really simple stuff, and they ghost me. They literally just stop responding. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I didn't think it was that hard instructions. So I think it's a combination, or maybe small tests. I don't know what it is. But like, I just like, just laugh and just surrender it. I'm like, okay, well, I just trust it's all going to work out. And so it's all going to flow.
The number one thing on that is people don't always like instructions. Unless they've welcomed your instructions, you don't give people instructions. And that's what we all have to learn as people who are visionaries and who are holding keys, is you want to ask people what they want to bring. And so that, you know, that's where we discover the synergy, is you ask people what they think their gift is and what they want to do. You don't say, you do this, you do that. And maybe you already had that kind of conversation, but you might be making assumptions about what their relationship is. So, and I know I've done the same, and so that's where we learn how we actually synergize, is to not make assumptions, but to let people come forward or create an opening that you can integrate. So it's like you have you have a node and they have a node, and you say my node is open. This is what's available for. Would you like to interact with that node? And they say, well, this is what I have in this node, and this is what I'm available for. Does this interact? And maybe there's a node right here where you guys are working together, or your nodes come together. But it's different ways of how to really interact and really respecting people's vision is key.
So maybe it was just like because these weren't like people in our circles. These just like normal. I think as far as I'm aware, there's normal developers on like Unity groups, and they apply. That's the thing. They come to me, and like they apply to the thing, and oh yeah, they're really interested. And then like I get to know each other, like the availability where the farm and everything else. And then I just send them, okay, can you look at this, please? And then they just don't respond again. Like so maybe I need to build a relationship more first. Maybe I'm asking. Maybe I just need to, I don't know, ask them the life history, and I don't know how many pets they've got. And
David, you're a coder. You're like really good at that. Like I think what's often great here is like to let you just be in your code space, and then there's like project managers that help. They're the ones that do the socializing, and they actually might have a gift of socializing. A lot of people have that gift. Like Lumi, he has a specific gift in that area, you know. So and I believe, you know, Mark obviously does too, and other people probably here do too. So it's kind of like we help the weaving, like the what's that stuff around the nerve? It's called there's
synapse.
Of the myelin sheath.
Myelin sheath. I'm imagining like, you know, these people who are helping weave that are more social. They're like the myelin sheath or something. I don't know why that came to me, but so, and then there's just a lot of, so don't expect yourself to have to do every single bit of it. And if that is a challenge, then take a step back from it, take a breath, and realize that there are a lot of people on Earth, and there are people interested in helping, and they're learning that space about how they can help. And we already know yeah, I agree, Mark. Yeah, Mark. So anyway, that's what I wanted to close the call as well. Mark is saying we've been at 3 hours, and that's why I just wanted to throw Conscious Playground in there for a little bit. But David, this is where teamwork comes in. It's like how we interact. So yeah. Hey, Ray just hopped on, but we're wanting to close the call right now. Ray, did you have something to say for a moment, Ray? Before, hi, welcome.
No, I'm sorry, I missed out on today. What did I miss?
Well, David Ellams showed Our World, and then I showed Conscious Playground, and Florentina, Sherry, and Debbie all shared their wonderful psychological gifts, and Mark connected us with the council, the Wisdom Council for Dream, Awaken Dream Synergy, and then Lumi is always doing his wonderful cheer and offering. Lumi, did you even talk? I forgot now.
I've been architecting on the background, okay. Something that you will see later on Telegram. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And what was Mark working on? Mark, what were you working on? The council?
Yeah, well, it was just an initial overview of, I think, how we're going to evolve Awaken Dream Synergy into a space that remains very welcoming, very safe for people to make their presentations, and then everyone listen for the gifts that are being offered and how to network our networks to help these become realized. So it's how we can keep these things being developed by not working on production per se, but working on synergy during these meetings. And I think that'll keep us on track and keep the space safe for these gifts to come through.
Because last week we had someone who came on who thought it was a production call, and they just kind of they were hard to tame. So it was a little bit like you know, like again, here was evidence about how the onboarding process is really necessary. So I didn't send out the links to all the groups. I had opened it up for a moment, but now I'm closing it again because we saw what happened. So we want to make sure we're more aware of what that onboarding process is. I would say that it's all been in the envelope of, or that in the realm of, this is what we want, but now we're getting more clarity on how to mold it so that it can welcome people in deep listening, in the gift and illumination, and then also having kind of guidelines of how to interact and things like that. And yeah.
Nice,
Like
nice.
at the beginning and stuff. So yeah, but now it's coming together.
Yeah, it would be great to see it, you know, bringing projects into existence, into reality. That would be amazing.
Well, they
feel
are.
like, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I know yours was. Yeah, I know yours was. I'm not sure which other ones are.
David Ellams has been connecting with Holochain, and then we have Versus on here. So a lot of people are talking to Dan from Versus, and Florentina is lovely here with the biofield, still talking with Lumi. Like it's a place to discuss our projects and synergize, and it's happening, but it all takes time. This is technology. It's like there's people that do the hammer and nails part of it. You know, it's like, oh, gotta get the nail, gotta get the hammer. But bum, 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 bum. Who's doing that pumping, and is it in the right place? You know?
Yeah.
Well, this is unique, Denise, and really, I interrupt for a moment because I'd like, first of all, to thank you for also for showing us all the playground and everything now. It's your enthusiasm is contagious now. David was a revelation, and I think he should really talk on, you know, on the event, because if he's in this flow state, he really communicates the coherence. So this is one of the points, but the other one was a technical question and also suggestion for you, Denise. Can I ask if you have a counter for all the playgrounds, pyramids, domes, and everything, and the general counter for the people participating to each event or entering the game?
That would be a good question. That's a question for Jay, because he's the one who's creating the platform. And so we're just putting our design and our idea on the platform. So I don't know, but
this is you know, it's interesting if you can ask about this, and I'll tell you why. Now, if the biofield technology that Mohan is coding, it's going to be implemented. Now, I think that it's important as a research study or a graphic, if you want, to have the number of people entering the game and see in time as a graphic if the coherence level is connected to this counter, and where the main event had more people participating, we can have some data, you know, for the heart rate, you know, technology that's going to be implemented. Now, I couldn't catch up with all the information with Mohan, but he shared a link on a messenger group. I was talking to Lumi about this. Now, I know it's late even to talk now too much. I want to be brief, but I can share here on the chat what Mohan wrote.
Okay.
And I'm doing it now. if I can. So this is it. So my idea was to, I told it weeks before Mohan shared this link, to transform the heart rate variability into music. Now I'm waiting for David Mirais to see what his will bring up with heart radio or whatever it's called. I don't know. But this link that Mohan shared speaks about a possibility to have the direct heart rate variability from an image and transform it in music. So my idea, I can put it up in 2 slides, is to use this coherent symphony to transform the heart rate variability into music and use it as a loop in the playgrounds or in specific domes where I don't know, meditation takes place or healing sessions take place, so that we can have a direct experience. If coherence can be increased, if we can resonate with our own biofield. So this was the idea, but you know, I tried several times to connect to Mohan, but he's very busy, and I know that there is no, the time is so short, but this was an idea. So that's why I asked about the counter also, but because I think it's important to have a general counter and also a local counter for each experience or each playground. So here I finish. This is the end.
Yeah.
Florentina, great. Just remember that the call about this will happen tomorrow at 8 around this more technical data. I invited last week Carl Smith, which is a consciousness and XR developer who, and people from Unity and stuff, that he's going to support us with this HRV conversion that you're asking about. So I am architecting those connections, and that's why I grounded tomorrow at 8 p.m. Europe time, a call to discuss this forward.
Okay, Louis.
So basically, I hear you.
We spoke about this privately, but I didn't have the chance to talk to Denise. I know how busy she is, so I proposed, talk with her, but I know she doesn't have time, so I just wanted, to propose this. And because I'm not a technological person, so I really don't know if we still have time or if the developers can, do something about this idea. This is all.
So Florentina, the idea was to have every pyramid have a sound in it, and due to load, things like that, they're trying to have us not have them in every pyramid, but I'm still trying to go for a different sound in every pyramid. So if you can give me a loop that is very, very low, I don't, they didn't give us an exact count, but we're trying to make the entire camp 100 megabytes. So that's everything. And we're at 150 megabytes right now, and that's not including the sounds. So, so whatever we can do to make a short loop, and that's actually one of the things that I wanted to share was all the sounds that we already have, and make a decision on which sound will be the ambient sound, because we will have an ambient sound that's specifically for the space. We have that, and then we'll have at least one sound, hopefully, for all of the pyramids, I'm hoping, or even better, we'll have different sounds for each pyramid. I don't think we can do the pyramids and the domes, so we're just gonna leave the domes with no sound. So that's where it's at. So if you can definitely give a sound, like ASAP, we've got to decide and finish the design of the space like yesterday. So, and obviously it's still not done, and I don't have the sounds in there either. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. So whatever you can.
Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so if you have a sound that is based on the HRV heart rate, and you can also check out the ones that my friend made using binaural beats and heartbeat. Not an actual heartbeat, probably just a heartbeat idea. Or I mean, I actually haven't asked if it's an actual heartbeat or not. And then that's by Javier. And then Arwin made some sound that's based on plants, where he put the electrodes on the plants and then made kind of like a music loop out of those. So we have a couple of those. The idea was that we were going to have a different plant in every pyramid, but really we just getting the basic design there has been a thing. So Michael has put in that we can put a JPEG in every pyramid, and I think every dome, or was it every dome, Michael? And then we have a JPEG that we can put. Oh, there's Michael. Let me just finish maybe before you answer that. And we have JPEGs in front of each section, including the OASIS, and you can actually click on these signs and have them go to a website or a video somewhere or something like that, or even a Unity experience, wherever you can click on the web, we can click it. So Michael, go ahead. Hi, Michael.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just, I think it's in front of every dome, and then inside of every dome, ideally there's also different pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in the pyramids, there's less right now. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of possibilities to put different images in the domes at this point. But
Right.
signs in front of all the stages, domes, pyramids,
Mm-hmm.
and lounges.
So that's still a lot to organize in the next 10 days. And it's also organizing, putting a sound in there, and also organizing people having their presentation. So let's do whatever we can to make this awesome. And if I invite the OASIS to have that JPEG sign be what you want, but also clickable to where you want it to be. So you can click it to a website that has information. And then we also have, I invite the biofield group to also have a dome that is like your dome. Like you can have JPEG in the front of the dome, but also like visual information inside there. So if Michael, if you can give sizes and dimensions of those signs, then we can have them know what that is. And then what else do we have? Then there's the Love Lounge. There's the, if you guys have ideas, if you want to have more than one dome, if you want, like if OASIS API wants a dome and stuff like that too, yes, you can use our world logo. Well, logos we're not allowed to use actually in Burning Man. That's the thing, is we have to, Burning Man is actually decommodification. So we need to, it's about inspiring people. And actually that might be against Burning Man's rules to go to it is against Burning Man's rules. We'll get kicked out immediately and they'll shut us off if we're doing any kind of promotion. So you're not allowed to promote, you're only allowed to inspire, I mean, the principles and the guidelines, and what you can inspire people to be embodied or spirited. And maybe that's going to be, something that you already do, and you can talk to them, meet them and then talk to them. So specifically, everything is meant to be inspiring, but you're not allowed to have logos. And if people find out that you have a logo, or biofield pictures are fine, and what the biofield is, what the idea of our world is. I mean, really, even the picture that you said, our world together, like that's still an idea, David. I mean, if that's your logo, that's still an idea, and you can't really tell if it's a logo. Well, if you say next gen systems, no, maybe don't do that. Yeah, together we can create a better world. But that's a tagline. Like, that's beautiful. And you can have that in the JPEG or in a dome. So let's be sure that we have that. And then when you link to somewhere, we need to make sure it's not linking to a commercial enterprise, or it just explains the idea of like, what if our world was this? You know, just kind of a story, like what if our world and we came together in some way, but don't mention we're creating this game, we're doing the coders, we're looking for sponsors, go to our donation thing. We can't do that. That's against Burning Man rules, and we will be cut off, and we won't be allowed in Burning Man again. That's just Burning Man. So, yeah. Yes, 433 music sound, 432 hertz. My friend, the piece, actually, I'm going to share that with you. I think I have, since we're still talking, and I'm going to share the sound that my friend Javier made. I think I have it up. Hopefully, yes, I have it up. I'm going to share the screen, and so if anyone has to go, you're. Oh, am I? Oh, here we go. I'm clicking the wrong button. See, David, everyone does that. They're like, oh, you know, when they're doing the presentations. Even professionals do that, but you know, the more professional you get, the less you do that, and you start being more cool. But we're not all that cool, so it's fine. So here's 432 hertz by no. Oh, I didn't make sure that I did. There's a way that you can share computer sound. Click that button. So here's the sharing. Hopefully it's going to work. It stopped working. See, why is it asking me to download? Usually you can, I don't have space on my hard drive. Usually I can play this from Google. Let's see if I can do it. Otherwise I can give you guys a link to this, and you guys can let's go. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Yeah, okay. These are different ideas from my friend Javier. So we can actually choose what sound we like for the feeling. And we have some ideas from Arwin, and then I also made some too. And or you know, if you guys have a sound, we still give it. I can give you all links to this. And then here's a couple of sounds that I made a few years ago. Oh, shoot, I have to do the reload. And then we have Arwin's too. I want to open that one too. So, did we get?
Well, it depends on what purpose you use the sound, because if you want to get into coherence, or if you do meditation, maybe nature sounds in 432 hertz will be more, you know, useful for meditation.
Right. Yeah. So this I created in software that was meant for meditation. So I don't remember what I did this a couple years ago. So this is a breathing spaceship. I just call it spaceship. And after playing with these sounds, and I have a lot of Don Estes' software too, my computer actually blew up and went up in flames. So, and then I didn't have a computer for a couple years, and probably based on 432 hertz as well. Is using solfeggio frequencies and things like that. And this is just stuff that I was able to get from my SoundCloud. But a lot of my experiments are. You guys hear this one? With love, so it's probably like 512, and I did a bunch of dialing in of different frequencies. So this one's just like a low basic.
Well, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Do you have any heart rate technology to measure your heart rate while you are listening to the sound you want to choose? Because this would be interesting for you to see if it works.
Well, I know what I like because of my own feeling from everything, but I want to hear what everyone else says. But I don't have my heart math ear clip here with me because I was planning. I only came here to meet up with Dan Mapes and talk about creating a consciousness game. So, which is basically what our world and all of these things are that we're creating. So I left my stuff in Mexico. I don't have it with me.
Okay.
But I think the people, right now I just used this app. I just tried it, and it's it turns on the flash of your phone, and you have to put your finger across the flash and the camera, and then it's kind of like the same, right? And
yeah,
that's
what the I Thrive people discuss, but we're gonna override that with just the camera itself. We will discuss it tomorrow at 8 p.m. Those kind of things.
That would be ideal.
Yeah. So
that's yours, Denise. Let me play more. Was that yours?
No, this is from Arwen. This is from plants. These are from actual plants. I also have nature sounds too that I was going to put in. Like I have. Let me see what I haven't listened to this one from Arwen yet.
Yeah, I think the nature sounds and some of the plant things would be cool. And then I don't know if it can be all of it like a remix.
Yeah.
But I like the nature sounds for sure. Kind of something soothing that's kind of, yeah, real somehow.
Right.
I actually have real nature sounds in here. Let me see if I can find it. My sound share maybe. Nope. Those are my meditations. Yeah, I did a bunch of. I want to share with these things with you guys too, but I'm gonna have to find it for a moment. Sorry, guys.
Sea waves are very much like heartbeat, you know. That's why I suggested nature also. I don't know. I'm not a specialist. I'm not a musician, but they can induce heart coherence also.
Well, what's interesting is the conscious playground. I did make it look like the playa with the here we go. Here we have some really amazing sounds. Let's have a great night. That's the thing with that. So this is what the jungle sounds like in Mexico. I think it's pretty nice. What do you all feel from that?
Didn't hear anything, or barely. I heard one frog.
Just the end of the last 10 seconds. One frog.
I was wondering why everyone was so silent.
It was my connection, so I was checking in whether the rest of the people would say something, and then Michael said the frog thing.
Hi. Okay, let's see. Oh, that one was so beautiful too.
And maybe turn it up.
This is as loud as it goes. Can you hear this one? Rain. I'm gonna do that last one because the last one was really good. I want to see if you guys can hear this one again.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet.
That's just as loud as it goes. But well, I'll send you all a link to this one because I think that one's really beautiful.
Guys, I'm gonna go now. I have to leave. I loved just to say bye-bye, like I love the concept of showing our world and David, and I think it's a beautiful idea on the playground.
Yes, please. That would be really wonderful.
Yeah.
Would love that. Need space
Okay.
for it. So, but yes, if you guys do have some sounds to work with, please let us know because I'm not figuring it out yet. Thank you.
I'm also gonna go if that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's been a really long conversation, and I think Mark has already left, and Florentina. So,
Mark is here.
but he's here, but maybe another.
Yeah. He's not. Yes.
Who knows? Okay, well, let's just close the call because that was.
Yep, I'm here, but phones are going off and.
Okay. So,
Thank you, everyone, and bye.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you all for your synergy, for your heart, for your art, for your work, for your light, for your love, and how we're all synergizing and awakening together. Thank you for your work, and have a wonderful day, evening, and moment from here.
Yes.
And let me know if you have sounds that you'd like to put in, like within the next few hours, maybe by tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wonderful. See you on the other side.
Thank you, David.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Namaste.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll connect, Florentina.
Okay. I'll get in touch. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, take care.
You too.